We're good.
Hey, we're live. How are you guys? Welcome to Checking In, as always.
Welcome.
You guys just missed a little family feud.
Oh, yeah.
The feud was going down really
Literally,
hardcore.
Steve Harvey
Pretty
was
awesome,
in the
Yeah,
basement.
Lori was about to kill Noah.
Steve Harvey. See, I'm thinking, I'm older than you. Who
Oh,
was
you're
that?
thinking. You're thinking.
Richard Dawson, right?
Oh,
my God.
Richard Pryor.
I was
that
thinking.
his name?
I was thinking about the guy that all the married people with all the 4 different wives were on.
Survey says he's a
No,
Mormon.
what was the?
What?
the what the hell? Come on, it was super famous 10, 12 years ago or something like that, where all the people go
Sister
on.
Wives?
No, the
What the fuck are
gay
you
the
talking-
talk show where everyone would come on. Maury Povich, is that what it was?
The
How did
Maury
we
show,
get-
that's
how
No,
did
I
we
don't know
get
which one
there?
it was.
that's the
I
one where
don't
they
know.
find out they're the father and not.
Exactly. That's the one I
That's
was
the one
talking
you're
about.
talking about?
Well, you were Family Feud,
Family
like you're gonna
Feud.
fight.
Oh, like Jerry
You know how-
Springer and
Jerry
Maury.
Springer, yeah, that's what
like-
I was talking about.
Yeah.
We almost had a Jerry Springer moment right there.
This
little
is-
bit.
and this
Jesus.
is the problem. We are never on the same.
So Noah and Lori were feuding about the fact that Lori wants to start her own podcast.
Yeah.
On this channel, though.
Yes.
On this
I'm
channel.
talking
Well,
about
she.
it, thinking
This is
about
what
it.
happens is that she's sick of our BS. So
Right.
she's like, you know what? I'm doing this solo.
That's what she
dolo."
said. And then what did you say? You said there won't be any. She won't talk at all.
Yeah, I said there'll be no audio because she'll be so far from the mic.
And what
that
did
nobody
I
will
say?
hear.
I'll still get better views than you.
That's true. That's what she said. So obviously we have Bruce in the house tonight.
Yeah.
Yo, what's
And,
up, guys?
Yep. So obviously with social distancing, we don't care if Bruce gets the virus. So
Yeah.
we just brought him on. No, Bruce is
whatever.
here. No, Bruce is here all the time. So we're all family. So obviously he can be here. On the good news on the social distancing side, we tested out and failed miserably, by the way, on your podcast last Friday.
Yeah.
How we can get Skype people in, Zoom people in.
Yeah, that was bad.
But the good news is my buddy Rob worked diligently hard, and we have it figured out.
Yeah, I think you fixed it. So that's
I think
good.
we have it figured out. So now we can literally have guests on, and that goes to your podcast per se, because you don't want me and Noah on it, or Noah and I on it, I should
Wow.
say. So she wants to have who would you have on, by the way? I'm trying to get my head.
Yeah,
on
I'd
it.
actually love to hear about
I
this
don't
as
know,
well.
but honestly, I had thrown it out there to Jade
Our daughter.
to see if she would want to
Do a
be
duo?
on it with me. Because if she did, obviously she would have to.
Yeah, and
do
she
it
talks a
via-
lot, so she'd be good.
via, Skype or however.
She got my talk ability.
Yeah, she's a good talker.
She's a good talker, so she could be good. So that's
Yeah,
good.
but this
So-
isn't about Jade. This is about Bruce. So let's learn
This is
some
about
stuff
Bruce.
about Bruce.
So
okay?
yeah, we'll talk about Bruce and
That's what I like to hear.
Yes. Bruce's favorite topic is Bruce.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Bruce, obviously there's a couple different things. You obviously work a lot with the behavior of our animals, as well as just care of the reptarium and stuff like that. But behavior stuff, so you're kind of known as a guy that really is good at socializing, monitor lizards. A little, to be totally honest with you, a lot of people don't know is maybe that ability you have really stem from your training with your dog. I think maybe.
I actually 100% agree with that. Like, just it really started like my own parents were pretty big about like trying to train dogs, trying to get them like to do the right things and be behaved and everything. And so when I was a kid, like even I had like German shepherds, I had labs, I had all these dogs, but I'd always be that kid walking around the neighborhood, no leash, no nothing. Dogs always
Right.
with me,
That's
right there
nice.
next to me every
Dang,
time.
I always wanted that.
Yeah, we don't
don't
have that at all.
No.
Although I saw it today. I'm sorry to
Sometimes we
jump
walk
up, but
around without leash, but it's not a good way. Usually chasing.
yeah, it's just
Yeah,
it's called chasing. It's called
good
chasing.
exercise.
It's called chasing. We used to have a husky named Artemis. God
Yeah.
bless her
Oh,
soul.
God.
And she was a dog that was a great dog, but once if she got anywhere close to running,
Yeah.
you had. I mean, I had to chase her in the car many a times.
Yeah.
Literally chasing her
car.
car. One time, I almost beat some guy up. Because, I didn't really almost beat him up, but I got mad at him and I yelled at him because she went over to him
Yeah.
and he was like petting her and I stopped the car and then he let her go. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And so I yelled at him and got back in the car and screeched my wheels. Had to chase her down for another 2 hours.
One time, Artie got out, and it was just me and Jade at home at the time. And she got out, and literally, I just dropped everything and just full out sprinted. I mean, Artie's fast.
She's fast.
But I was on a mission. I didn't want to deal with the BS of losing a dog without
No,
mom and
yeah,
dad.
yeah, that would be
so
bad.
I full out just sprinted. And I mean, it might not be the right thing to do, but I may have tackled her.
That's what you have to do
But
sometimes.
I was like 8, so I didn't hurt her. But like I caught her and I
Yeah. Before we get back to Bruce, I wanted to tell one story about Artie, and this was on Lori's birthday. You probably didn't hear the story because this was at our old building quite a few years ago. And it was Lori's birthday. We were at the old big building.
Yeah.
And someone had put, I think maybe even your mom did, to be totally honest with you, put some boxes at the door to crack the door open.
Oh.
And Artie jumped over the box.
No.
And was gone.
Oh, no.
I'm talking gone.
She was a puppy still. She was probably maybe a year old.
Yeah, this is
at
definitely
that time.
way before.
Yeah,
me.
way before.
Yeah, and then she, obviously she's a very smart dog, so that didn't stop her. That was just like, oh, the door's open, and
she was gone.
We
was gone.
We searched the neighborhood. It took us a good 30 minutes to even find her.
And what ended up happening is
scary.
I got in my car, and of course we had we had Hayes and 23 Mile that was relatively close, very a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
they
she
had
was-
Randazzo's across the way
Exactly.
there.
Yeah. And so ultimately we're thinking if she gets into that road, she's going to get run over
Yeah.
because
It was
Huskies
scary.
are known for they don't look back. They just and what happens a lot of times they'll run, and then when they stop, they're like, where the hell did I come from?
Yeah.
And they can't find their way home.
Yeah.
They're smart dogs, but not that smart, obviously. So just by happenstance, I got in my truck and I'm driving around, and I go, I'm driving all over the place, in this little corridor, and thankfully I turned down this dead end street where there's a cement factory, and she's standing right in the middle of the parking lot. And then it was
lucky.
funny because I literally pulled up and opened the door and she ran right in.
Yeah.
She was scared. She was like, oh my God, what happened? I want to hit these super chats because you guys are coming in hard and heavy today. Smiling Prophet, I'm sorry. I can read. Next best reptarian project should be bioactive isopods and strings. We actually have some bioactive things, and we should do more for sure. Yep. Mike is always at it. He's always good, big balling with with my unemployment. I hope you are. And Mike, listen, man, we love you,
so
but seriously,
much.
worry about yourself, man. Don't worry about us,
Yeah,
please.
save that money for yourself.
Yeah, man, seriously. Elaine Smith, thank you so much.
I like
She's
that
got she's got some
box
flying
and pear thing.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's pretty cool. My girl, Heavenly Knees, as always.
Nice
hey,
to see Bruce.
Nice to see Bruce. Yeah, we're going to get to know
Pleasure.
her. We're going to need to get to see. Sarah just said hello, sending some love from Birmingham, Alabama. So thank
There
you
you
guys.
go.
Roll Tide, roll Tide.
Roll Tide. So, anyways, back to Bruce. So, obviously, you do a lot with the monitors, where and iguanids too. Really, I guess lizards are a little easier to kind of socialize, I guess, or train, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, it ultimately it took a bit to understand where they're basically coming from, right?
Right.
So I had to kind of I know this sounds super sketchy, but I kind of had to think like a lizard a little bit, you know,
I agree with
sort of
that.
put myself in their
Yeah.
position, why are you acting like that towards me? Because
Right.
I can't communicate with you, so
Yeah.
I've got to I kind of
Gotta
fit
think
that
like one.
puzzle,
Yeah.
So when it really came down to, especially with working with Ubasuku, which was kind of my more
Yeah, that was crazy.
cornerstone moment
Yeah.
there,
Yeah, she would want to kill you when we first came. She'd
Yeah.
jump out of the cage with her mouth open.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it took me actually sitting there and it was funny. It was actually when Forrest came in, right?
Right.
Remember when Forrest had come in? And I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring up sad
No,
sad
no,
news,
no,
but
no,
This
no,
is a
no.
really happy
Yeah.
memory I had
Yeah.
of Forrest. But it was
Yeah.
when he brought those crocodilians in, and we was talking to us
Oh, yeah.
about
Yeah,
all that
cool,
stuff, and he
right,
was just telling me. So one of the questions I had asked him was where did you get all this information from? What do you do?
Yeah.
What are you sitting? He's telling me
Yeah.
well, actually, I'm sitting there looking for scholarly articles. I'm looking through this. I'm looking
Yeah.
through that. And I was just like, dude, that's kind of cool. So I started doing that. I started looking at Asian water monitors, Nile monitors, you name it. And it was just it was interesting to see what people were doing in different parts of the country,
Yeah.
in a herpetological way. And it was incredible. There's so much interesting information out there that we don't even know as keepers because we kind of almost sit in our own little bubble a lot
Sure.
of times,
Yeah. And there's a lot of people that have very altering opinions as well. One guy,
Yeah.
I remember really even Kevin from Nerd, who has kind of really become the monitor, the guy that's talked about socialization of monitors. Back 10 years ago, the monitor community hated Kevin. They may still. I don't know because I'm not in the monitor
Well,
community.
not this guy.
But no. But I think that people went from going, you can't do what Kevin is doing, it's bad, it stresses them out, to now that's the industry standard, right?
Without a doubt.
So like
yeah.
you said, there's people, that might, you may read 5 papers and they're 5 completely differing topics on how to actually work on behavior. So I think that I guess my point is you probably read these things, but then also really use your own experience and kind of abilities to figure it out.
Right. So it's situational, right?
Right.
Like you got to gauge what they're doing and sort of like based on what you learned and what you and you sort of apply it in that way.
Yep.
So like for instance, tongue flicking is a really, really huge behavioral thing that
Sure.
I had to learn because obviously dogs don't do that. How the heck would I would figure that out?
Not normal ones anyway.
So like listening to Kevin, listening to you, listening to a lot of the people that came before me, obviously, like it was a big learning step for me to sort of figure out, okay, certain tongue flick patterns meant something. And even within snakes you see it. Like there are some snakes that would show certain tongue flick patterns.
Sure.
So like that was one of those bigger steps that I had gotten across, and I was just like, okay, well, like, all right, so this is a behavior thing. I need to pick this up, learn it. And then like you said, when it came to the situation, those were one of those things that I had to be like, all right, this is the situation. This is how I act. This is where I go. Like it's almost step by step. It's almost methodical.
And it's consistency as well. I mean, it's But anyways, we definitely some pretty major things. We've got the Bell's face lace monitor now that we're working on hard. Obviously,
which is doing amazing right now.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's so cool. I was going to say something and I completely blanked on it. So go ahead. I had some witty comment. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a good comment," but it didn't work out so well. Yeah. So that was the end, and that's probably about as good as. Oh, that's what I just remembered. Good. Okay, so we have Brianna just said, "Stay safe out there."
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jonathan
Brianna.
Bell. This is what I was going at. Have you ever thought about getting an olive python? Jay, can you do me a favor? Pull this up.
Of course,
it's called
of course.
Python Bites.
Of course.
Absolutely wonderful.
Brian has thought of every.
I thought of everything.
I even want one of these. I love all the pythons.
No. Go to YouTube first if you can, and then
But
Python
have you ever
Bites.
thought of getting an olive flounder?
You can even an olive flounder. Oh, you guys are on Animal
I
Crossing.
catch the hell out of
So
those.
you can go to Python Bites, probably Snakebites TV. Yeah. There we go. Thank you. And it should be a really short clip, like a minute long or something like that. Right down there. All right, it's 11 minutes long. If you just go to that, don't bring it up on the screen, but just scroll to when I get bit at the end or something like that, and then we can bring it up on the screen. This is an olive python. So this is
Australia.
This was in Australia. This is in Australia. Well, actually, this might be something. Oh, this is a bunch of chewy bites. But my bite is in here with the olive python somewhere, right
That
there,
was one
right
of my
there.
favorite days.
That was a nasty
when
one
he got it
too.
on
So
the
this
nose.
is you can pull this up now. So this is the olive python, and that is the olive python biting me. And then if you fast forward just a little bit, just go to the end where I get it off of it, and you'll see the kind of no, way back, yeah. It's a very short clip, Jay. So it doesn't matter. So anyways, you kind of can see. There you go.
Ugly little bite.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
You can see him bleeding. So yeah, have I thought about olive pythons? Yeah, I love olive pythons.
Oh,
my
man.
god, look how
Yeah.
bloody that is.
They're
by the way,
beautiful though.
That
They're
clip
gorgeous snakes.
ended up getting me on Outrageous Acts of Science on Discovery Channel.
I remember
And
that.
it kind of worked its way around a lot of different things. It was kind of cool. That was my first, like kind of clip thing that made
I
Outrageous
remember.
Acts. It was season 1, episode 6. Not that I'm counting or anything like that.
Yeah.
Of course, you know exactly.
Yeah.
No, I remember that because like it was
and subscribe.
it was a big deal back then.
It
like-
was a big deal.
Like I remember when you were like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be on TV," and then we like all sat down and we watched it, and we're like, "Oh, there you are!"
And it was pretty cool because
It was cool.
it's one of those clip shows that isn't like ridiculousness or
Right.
Tosh Point Oh. It was like you got scientists, and so they're like
Yeah.
talking about, oh well, you see what he's doing there. He's controlling its jaws with this, and so
Yeah, it
and
was,
they
like,
didn't
cool
make me
stuff.
sound like an idiot. You know what I mean?
Right.
They made me sound like I knew what I was doing, which is probably
Which was
not
nice,
true.
right?
Yeah.
It's probably not true. I probably didn't know what I was doing at all. But never
None
also
of us
know.
know what we're doing.
But
at
but no,
all.
I actually do. I do like olive
Just
pythons,
following.
but I will say that every time I hold an olive python, I get bit.
I've never even seen one, but prior to that,
Yeah, they're great animals, and this is the other thing.
They're similar to a Maclots, right?
Yeah.
Well, like
I
the
think so.
Australian Maclots.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the Australian, more like a D'Albert's python actually. to
that's
be
what it
honest with you.
reminded
It's a
me
little
of
bit
when
more
I
like that.
saw it.
They used to be
Yeah.
in the same genus. Now they're in different genuses.
It just
but-
looks like a Maclots.
See that I
to me.
didn't actually know,
yeah,
but
they
but
both
I,
used to be in Liasis.
like
now they're
seeing
like Neophyte.
seeing them though, you could definitely see it. Like a
Yeah.
white-lipped python has a little bit of wider head, but like that olive python has kind of like a maclot head, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But the color is so much
Yeah.
like a white lip. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
It seems like every time I went to Australia, we would go to a place that had a collection of olive pythons, and it was always the same thing. Oh yeah, this one's tame. And then I get
Bite the
bit
hell
the
out of
hell
you,
out
yeah.
of me, man. You
It
know,
might be.
That sounds familiar.
Maybe it's like your American blood. Like you have
Yeah.
a smell of
Yeah.
like
I think
hot
it
dogs or
sensed
something.
it. Like
I smell like hot dogs.
Maybe.
I'm gonna
Now,
bite the shit
now
out of
people
this.
know. I
Hot dogs
actually
and
What do
do
they-
smell like.
What do the Aussies call us?
They call us. What do the Aussies
don't know.
call us?
They
Wait.
call
Have
us
a
the
name?
C word.
No.
Corona?
the Corona.
The Corona C
The
word.
other C word.
I wanted to. Someone just said, where's Jessica? She's upstairs working, right?
She's still working because she's our top employee.
Nothing of what I do really amounts to the effort Jessica puts in on.
No, well, I think that me and you are a lot alike in the sense that like me and Bruce can work our ass off, and still Lori and Jessica did like 10 times the work.
I mean, like I hate to say it, but man, I go home and I go play with my snakes, and Jessica is taking care of that whole house, and like she is a trooper. She deals with me really.
Lori does a lot of
way.
that too, except for cooking. I do the cooking.
Yeah, I don't do the cooking
Sometimes
either.
You always say,
She does the cooking, and then he leaves the biggest fucking mess for us to clean up.
Well,
that's
too.
part of the deal, though.
But
It's
that's
so
how it
fucked
I do
up.
cook, but you don't like it when I cook.
That's
the
true,
problem.
too.
You're
But
like,
do you?
"Oh,
Well,
it's shitty."
No, I
There
don't
you
want to
go.
put you. I don't want to put you in a spot, Noah. But how do you feel about your mom's cooking?
Yeah.
It's all right.
I
Guess
love.
what?
Listen, I
You know
love
what?
you, Lori.
You know what?
I love you too.
I was raised that whatever got cooked, you sat down and you ate.
And what do
you
we
said
do?
Thank you. You don't have to say, is it good, is it bad?
do.
Thank you for cooking, and you eat it, and there it
And we
is.
do.
Same here.
No, you
Always.
do not.
But all-
oh my God.
but
all
all
you
we're
say
saying-
is how shitty it is,
Well,
which makes me want to cook less.
I just want to throw out there, not a single time I've ever been to your house have I ever said either one of your cooking has been bad.
Exactly.
So please continue to invite me
No.
to your
Yeah.
house
So
and cooking for me.
you were raised right because
Yeah.
you were just thankful for a damn meal.
Well, I'm just
very
saying,
much so.
raised
Yeah.
me.
I'm just saying, like I said, I love you, and I didn't marry you for the cooking. I didn't.
and I wasn't born
You
for
know.
your cooking either.
Yeah.
know
Like
what?
if Noah could have chose his mom, he may have chose someone
This
else.
is
But
why I need my own damn podcast.
Why?
Because this shit just pisses me off.
But we still love you.
we love you though
Do
so
you
much.
though?
Yeah, I love you
Do
so
you
much.
though?
I love you so much.
is.
So much is.
But listen, you know,
much.
when you cook that chicken, you just gotta stop hammering that shit. You know,
You hammer
just
it
take
to get it.
No, you just gotta
tender.
you gotta take it off the grill about an hour earlier. You know.
All right, you know what?
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
All right,
let's
Tyler
move
King
on.
just said, just sensing some love every time I can catch the podcast. Love from Wyoming. I appreciate
never
it.
been to Wyoming.
Yeah, I've
much
actually always
love-
wanted to go because I
Yeah,
heard
me
like
too.
absolutely beautiful.
What is
Yeah.
that?
Colorado.
It's Seamus.
Seamus Wright.
Seamus Wright.
Right. Much love from Colorado.
Oh,
Oh, much love.
Speaking
Hey,
of Colorado,
hey.
Another place I need to go.
Speaking of Colorado, well, when the C word is over,
There's a lot of reasons we need to go to Colorado.
Lori
Yeah,
is
yeah,
going to
yeah.
go to Colorado to go hang out with Nikki and
yes,
Robin.
my girl Nikki.
Oh, okay.
My
yeah.
one trip got obviously postponed, but
Yeah, there's a lot
she
of
would
places
be
to go.
fun too. She
Oh,
was the
she-
one that
yeah,
I could
she could be
definitely
on your
get on the
podcast.
podcast.
So,
I know
yeah.
that's what I'm saying, but I don't
Yeah.
have anybody here.
Oh.
Sorry, local. Any friends or family people I'd have are distant, so you'd have to figure that Skype thing
or boring.
Right, in which we
No.
do have the Skype
I don't.
thing.
I just
So
don't
that's
have
what
any
I was.
friends
That's what
here.
I was
That's my
getting at early on is that we did figure out the Skype thing, like I
Yeah.
said. So now you can do a podcast, hopefully,
We have so many
with
podcasts
Skype, and
going.
and now we can, hopefully now
But
we
I
can
feel
bring
like
on
mine
guests.
would cover better topics. Like mine would be more enjoyable.
What?
Whatever.
How is that possible?
What a
you know
hater.
what would your topics be?
You know what?
Let's
The-
wait. Let's bring up a topic right now.
Yeah, your choice.
Your great topics.
Yeah,
We're gonna
fine.
give you one topic.
Yeah, I actually heard that you said you had some pretty brutal ones, actually.
She
no,
has
actually, you know what? All right.
one. Okay. Oh, whoa, she got
Oh,
notepad.
see, that's what I'm
do.
telling you.
She
Yeah,
got
you're
notes.
bragging
Holy
about
Shit,
this.
it's just got
dude,
like
I'm
3
telling you.
pages.
All right, so I'm
Like
gonna bring
3
this.
pages.
I'm gonna bring this one up because you
Okay.
will enjoy it.
Oh,
Oh.
wow. I
You
like
have to do
that.
it.
You know what I
aliens.
came across?
What's that?
No.
Smart toilets.
Oh, I like
Ooh.
Have you,
smart
wait.
toilets. Yeah,
I don't think you've heard of these.
I don't
so
think so.
this smart toilet recognizes the
Yeah, pull that shit up,
user's
Jay.
backside. So it literally like recognizes the shape of your ass
Yes.
and it analyzes your poop and your pee.
Oh
For
wait,
health.
I heard about
I
this.
wanna be a
I
smart
heard about
toilet.
this actually.
Does it tell you? Oh, this is the one that
by
says you need a little
Stanford
more.
University
Yeah.
scientists came up with this design, so it actually recognizes your ass when you sit down.
So this is
and then it also fingerprints when you flush. So those two things like identify you, and then it
and it just uploads all that data to the cloud. So like everyone knows this
that's the
now.
thing.
They all
Yeah,
know
that's
what
the
you
thing.
Oh, I
ate,
know.
what was in your poop
It's
in the world.
terrible,
The
and
Chinese
it's
government knows
terrifying,
it.
But I
all
feel
done.
like you guys would appreciate that.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, dude, oh my God, that is
so let
it's
me-
the creepiest thing I've ever
let me
heard in
just
my
say-
life.
let
Like
me
they're gonna
just say-
analyze your poop, man.
Let me just say, I'm not as into a smart toilet like that tells me what's wrong with me. I want the
I
smart
am.
toilet that warms me up, maybe vibrates a little.
Yeah,
bit.
get a little bidet.
It's a little
you know?
squirty squirt, you know.
I think
yeah.
you would want both
The best-
because you are a person who likes
Yeah.
all of the information.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's
you would be literally analyzing that shit every day.
I would love that though, like,
I'd be analyzing that shit every day.
because I'm sure I'm lacking on some like calcium or something.
How funny is that? Like it recognizes your ass. That part just made me laugh. Like you sit down, hello, Lori.
Oh my God, that was a little sexual almost. It was like, hello, Lori.
Is it like like the screen printers where you sit your cheeks down?
Yeah.
Like is
It does. It says the shape of your ass.
Okay.
Is what
Yeah,
it
wasn't this like a Bob's Burgers episode at some point in time? I
don't know.
swear, I think I've seen
probably
this
that's
one.
probably where they got the idea. Honestly.
Probably, but way to go, Stanford. That's what
Yeah.
Stanford University
And, let's-
scientists
let's
Hey,
are
have
man,
doing.
they are working hard over there, really
Let's,
freaking hard.
Let's everyone give a little clap for Lori and her topic. Thank you.
That was
Thank
so-
you, Lori.
I mean, I
That was
thought,
Bravo,
I thought it was
bravo.
It was a good
That was
topic.
It was
good.
entertaining.
And it
I
was,
actually liked it.
yeah, it was a good topic. And you have 3 pages of them, which is pretty good. You came hard today.
Yeah.
That's good. But
Is
yeah.
it my time to
Yeah,
shine?
you go ahead. You do
All
it.
right, I want to ask Bruce a question.
Go for it. Go for it.
So Bruce was raised in Alabama, correct?
Yes, sir.
Roll
So
Tide.
I
Roll
just
Tide.
want to get a little picture of like your hometown, of like just like maybe of a little story of like kind of that
Ooh.
encapsulates your hometown in like a short story.
So in a really weird way,
Okay.
I kind of have 2 hometowns. all
Okay.
right? So and I'm only going to call them my hometowns only because these are places I went to like high school with. So I grew up in a military family, so I've traveled so much that like I didn't really have like a place necessarily that I sat
okay.
down and grew up really hardcore. So I've been everywhere from Colorado, South Carolina, Georgia, all over like, and just lived in a lot of different places, right?
Oh, okay.
So like when it really comes down to it, I lived in Hoover, Alabama, and Alabaster,
Ooh.
Alabama.
Oh, those are good.
Alabaster.
States. Alabaster State. That's good.
So, believe it or not, actually, though, this is my this YouTube channel isn't my only claim to fame. I not personally been like a feature on the MTV channel, but I was on the MTV channel. I even saw myself on it.
DMTV.
It was 2-a-days is the actual type. Like it was a football thing. It was about our high school football team.
Sheesh, look
And
at that.
like I remember the MTV the cameras going around all over the high school and stuff
Wow.
like that, and it was such a big deal because it was like we're like it's a big city to some extent, but it's Alabama's version of a big city. So Birmingham and Montgomery is pretty much there.
Yeah, we didn't
know?
have any MTV in my school, so that's a big
Yeah.
But was
deal,
it
right?
so down
But you
south?
did have some
football,
famous-
like high school football is big, right?
Oh, super
Oh,
huge.
it's
So
super
like
huge.
that's part
Well,
of
yeah,
it.
down
like,
in certain parts, it's still college is king down in Alabama. But,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know,
Roll Tide.
whereas like Texas is like high school is bigger than
okay,
usually
I'm sorry.
college.
What the fuck does Roll Tide mean?
So
Roll Tide. Yeah.
I love that you asked me that. All right. So Alabama, like a long time ago, there was this the announcers, they were talking about this huge team. Alabama was one of their first or second national championships. I don't really remember, but it was like 60s, like a long time ago. And they were talking about all the crimson
That's
shirts
the
they were
color,
wearing,
right?
and they were coming in. It was like a tide rolling in, you know,
Okay.
and it was
the
just a
Crimson
reference.
Tide,
It
yeah,
was a
Crimson
reference to
Tide.
that.
Okay, and
Ah,
then somebody
that
just
makes
said
sense.
it. And
Yeah,
it
and it's
stuck.
just and it
Roll
just became this
Tide.
super huge traditional thing
All
where everybody's like, "Roll Tide, yeah, buddy."
That's amazing. And it is funny. I swear to gosh, you can't say Alabama without somebody
I
saying
know,
Roll
and I
Tide.
never
I'm
knew
sorry,
what the
yeah,
hell
yeah.
that meant. I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I missing
Well,
here?
the other
I knew.
thing is the rivalry,
Did you?
obviously too.
I didn't know the backstory, but I knew why they said it for the football for
Okay.
the college.
Yeah. Like the backstory of it too is like the rivalry between Auburn and Alabama is like epic, absolutely epic. I mean, we're talking about like the Tumors Corners trees were poisoned by some by some fan that was just like, he even went on a radio show and was just like, roll damn tide, you know, like I did that shit, you know, like and so like and just like this rivalry is super huge. Like they put like Cam Newton's jersey when he played for Auburn, he put him on Paul Bryan's statue and people lost their freaking minds.
I don't know who any of these people are except for Cam Newton. I don't know.
Oh man, I can't believe you don't know who Paul Bryan is. Oh man, that hurts my heart.
Born and bred in Michigan. Sorry.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. This is Tom Brady area. I got it.
Yeah. Bo. I don't even know who was the Michigan.
I don't know because you don't follow
coach,
football.
Bo
So there you go.
That one guy with the face.
We got the Lions.
Yeah.
There you go.
We don't have much.
I'll stick to my Alabama football.
Yeah. At least you guys win often.
Right.
Yeah,
we win never. So
never. That's all right. There's no such thing as sports these days, anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's all a farce now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's long distant memory.
Noah, you had a pretty eventful 24 hours just recently.
Yeah, man. I was doing salt and pepper 24-hour challenge.
Yeah,
Let's get some
24-hour
hype in the
challenge.
chat. Some
Yeah,
hypes in the chat.
Hypes in the chat.
So,
yep,
that was
24-hour
horrible.
challenge. It was the easiest challenge I've ever done.
Oh, okay.
I've done
What?
you.
What made that one more horrible than the others?
So first off,
I feel like it was spacious.
spacious.
No, not at all.
It was the least spacious one.
I guess you're right because the most of it is water, which you were.
Most of it is water, and then 70% of the land I can't go on
Because it's the
filter. So if I step on it, it will fall through. So I was left with this little chunk, and there's like a rock that's pointing out, so it's in my back, and I'm just like,
Oh yeah, now that I think about it, you're right.
yeah, it was the worst one by
Yeah,
far.
hot and humid.
I
Obviously
knew
very
it'd be
humid.
hot,
Yeah,
especially because he's on the land, which is right under the heat lamps.
Yeah,
and stuff.
it was fun.
Couldn't get away from
So
it.
Saturday, guys, this April, whatever it is, that's when it's coming out. So make sure you guys go over there, turn those post notifications on, and get ready for that.
Yeah, you came back with a banger on that one. I think it should be good. I mean, I
Yeah.
know you've
So
got a lot of editing to
did
do.
you bond with Pepper finally
No.
through it all, or no? Are you
Salt
guys-
was cool.
Well, I know Salt is. Pepper's the one. Like,
Yeah, Pepper's not so cool.
But-
So I gotta ask though, did any of them get up on the ledge or anything like that?
Yeah,
Like,
Salt did.
Really?
Salt,
That's kinda cool.
Salt crawled
That's
up
actually
a few
badass.
times.
yeah,
and
I'm not
I got
surprised.
it.
She's very like.
Yeah, she
friendly
really
and
is.
that.
Like she'll
yeah.
come right up to you
But
too. Like
Pepper,
it's so
no.
funny.
I wonder if Pepper just came up like.
No, Pepper
No,
just
they
hides
did this
mainly.
thing. They did this thing. They both did it, and it was really surprising. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. They both like came up to the top of the water, and then they did like this splash move.
Oh,
and they
okay.
splashed me
Oh my
on
God.
purpose.
Yeah.
So
They came
kinda
up,
like
and then they-
SeaWorld where the.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
like
it's like
came
with the
up.
tail fan.
Chamois.
Yeah, and then they like whip their tail, and then it just splashed me, and then they would just
Right.
go away, and I'll be like, "Hey, the
Nice.
hell!" I think there was a message like,
Yeah, like
"Get out
the
of
hell
my
out of
home,"
here. Yeah.
Yeah,
which is fine, but it's over now, so we're good.
That's
it's
awesome.
good. You're gonna do Ivy next, maybe?
I don't know. Let's not
Yeah,
think
let's
about
just-
that.
Dude,
Yeah,
that
you're
would
just
actually
so
be a
fresh.
really, really good one. I could see you even pitching a tent in that. That's
I
such
know,
a
there's a lot of
You
space.
could,
thinking
you
about
could
that.
almost do a hammock.
Like I
In
would.
that top
Oh, dude,
part.
actually,
We've
no,
talked about that.
Oh, that's such a great idea. I
That'd
love
be
it.
cheating, though. That'd be cheating.
How
Yeah.
is a hammock?
Have
a
you ever
cheater?
seen Bear Grylls out in the wild? He doesn't bring
I
a
don't,
hammock.
I don't want.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
come
sleeping
on.
on the
And
ground, man.
that's the wild.
He's-
like we're
he's-
in,
Right,
in
we're-
Ivy's cage. Like,
Yeah,
how are
this
you?
is the reptarian,
I mean,
not
what
the
if-
This
wild.
isn't Naked and Afraid now.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Naked
Oh,
and
dude,
Afraid.
I
Oh my God, he
I
made me
absolutely
watch that
love
the
it.
other day. What the hell are these?
love the
people
show.
Have you
thinking?
seen the XL one yet? Oh my
don't-
god.
Oh, they got
What is
extra
that?
large, naked
What
and
does that
afraid.
mean?
Dude, it's a huge group of
Shut
them.
up.
I'm not
Oh,
even kidding.
I
It's a
thought
huge
like
talking
freaking
big
group.
people.
No,
Naked and
Oh, that
Afraid
would've been
XL.
brutal.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, "That's awesome. I need to watch that."
What? We got to do it, man.
Oh my
gotta
god,
do it.
yeah.
We could start a YouTube
We gotta
channel
get a
right
couple
now,
of
man.
chunky-
XL.
Negative afraid else XL.
Yeah, see, I
This
don't.
is-
We'll just
yeah.
reverse it. Afraid and
Wait,
naked.
this is what we were watching. We were watching.
Yeah, it was a big
Yeah,
group.
Yeah,
it's
there
a
was
huge
like
group of.
It wasn't
I don't know if you've
you.
gotten to the end of this, but
No.
holy crap! I just lost my fucking mind with every.
I've
I'm sorry.
never-
Am I okay
No,
to say
you can
that?
swear, you can
Alright,
swear.
I've
yeah,
never
like,
watched it as a series. I've always watched it if it's on TV. I'd pop into the channels
You know what's
and then I
weird
just
is
see some butt cheeks and I gotta watch.
You know how I am. I get like uncomfortable, like Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, you hate that
It
show.
doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
listen,
How do you get
listen.
I don't get it
uncomfortable
either.
I love
watching
that show.
I think it's like a great show,
laugh
but
my
I get
ass off.
embarrassed.
It is pretty funny.
And it's the
I
same
actually
thing
love
with
it.
Naked and Afraid. I can't watch Naked and Afraid because I'm like embarrassed.
See, I don't like it because
Well,
I
people
think,
like that. Like I'll admit with you, there are some cringy moments in that.
Yeah,
watching
that's
that
what I'm
show.
saying. I
And
watch
you're
it,
just
I'm
like,
just
ugh.
You know what I think? I'm like,
There are
yeah,
some.
you want to be on TV so much that you'll get your naked ass
Yeah.
like out there for the
Yeah.
world to
Oh,
see
yeah,
with
it's
the
just that
blurs
type
and
of
whatever.
person,
In
right.
those situations, like there's no situation
Well,
that
think
you
about
should
this.
be in those situations
For sure.
naked.
Yeah.
Well, think about
Like,
this
oh.
though.
We made clothes for a reason.
Just
It's
think about
cold
this.
out there.
Think
And
about
there's
this.
critters and
Bugs suck. Yeah.
Think about this when you're watching that show.
Okay.
There was some editor that spent months just
blurring
blurring
that
out
shit
the
out.
assholes
Well, that's
and the balls.
honestly,
I would love that job.
what a job that would be.
I'm
That'd
like,
be great.
Yeah,
Just looking
you're
at
out
genitals
there.
all day.
Can you
You're
imagine putting
naked.
that on your Facebook, like as a job,
Yeah.
like butthole
Genital-
checker?
Naked and afraid, butt blur.
I wonder if that's like a true editor, if it's just some like intern that's
No.
like got a
it's
blur
probably
button.
a
No.
17-year-old that's like,
Nope.
yeah, I'll
You-
do that
you know,
shit.
you know
Can't do
why?
that.
I,
Can't do
you know
that.
why I
That's
tell
illegal.
you.
That's illegal. 18, 18 maybe.
You know why I say no to that?
Why?
Because that is some good blur job. It is very
Blur?
consistent.
A blur job.
No, yeah, it's a blur job, dude. You cannot get that
Oh my
blur.
gosh.
Like it's easy to mess up a blur.
Yeah, it is easy to mess up a blur.
They never have any mistakes. It's
Well, they
always on
can't,
track.
yeah.
It's in
Well, yeah,
between the
it's
cheeks.
on TV.
You know what I'm
Be
saying?
messed
Yeah.
up.
Let me
Yeah.
catch up real quick. We got Johnny Noble says, love you guys. He said again how
Thank
how
you,
quick to
Johnny.
do a personalized videos get out. So normally every day, I'll talk a little bit why today didn't get out.
Yeah.
I think we already did
You
that
did
one, Jay.
put a
No, this
time
one's
on it,
new.
though.
Oh, this is a new one. This is another.
Yeah, it's just another.
Same. Say who was that?
Seamus.
Seamus.
I'm seeing that
Seamus,
arrow
right,
just point
$5.
Lori for
Wait,
president
Wait, go
right
down
there.
for a second. Go down for a second. Wait.
Up,
A little
up.
bit more. No. Okay. Jade says, "Ooh, do we bake and
Jade.
drink wine on our pot? Hell yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Jade,
Like,
my
yeah.
girl. Yeah, that sounds good. It sounds good.
Actually,
Okay,
that wasn't the first one because I'm pretty sure Jade actually asked why she wasn't on the podcast already. I think there
Because
was
we
another
didn't
one.
have it
yeah.
working.
Draco
Jade.
and Kodak must have watched last week. Hey, sorry about your micropene.
Yeah. Guess
Don't
what,
be.
Draco? Because nobody said that. Like I
Yeah,
didn't
that was.
say
I don't. Even,
that.
I think
like,
Noah
he
said.
went.
No, I think.
Yeah,
I
'cause
think
she was
actually.
making
Yeah, I don't
fun
know.
of. She said I had
Yeah,
a little
I don't know.
I
wiener.
did not.
Crosby.
Never said that.
She
Crosby
said I had a little wiener.
I never did.
Regardless of which, we are
know what?
sorry about your micropene.
Yeah, we are.
No, you know what? I might have to start an OnlyFans and show my true size.
Actually, that is a
Because,
great idea. Because you know
it's
what?
not
Yeah,
fair
struggle
that you
is
put this
struggle.
on me when it's not the truth.
Didn't put it on you. Okay,
Okay,
Crosby.
Crosby.
Can we get some?
Hey,
Can we get
Brian.
some OnlyFans Noah in the chat so I know if you guys want it or not?
Hey, oh my God.
Oh.
Hi, hey Brian from the fam from Oklahoma.
They did the tour.
Oh yeah, Noah still talks about the animals you saw in the virtual tour. You guys are awesome. Animal Crossing is now
yes,
my new
I
addiction.
believe
Hey.
a lot of
That's
people
awesome.
have a lot
And
of
I'll-
new addictions to
yeah.
get through this epidemic,
Yeah.
and Animal Crossing is a big one.
That's a good
And
one.
I'll talk. I'll
Drinking,
talk a little bit
Animal
more.
Crossing,
Yeah, I'll talk
you know.
more about the tours in a
Yeah.
minute here too. Holly, hey for England, trying to fly over after this whole C word thing is over.
Can't wait to have
I
ya.
can't wait to have
Yep.
you. Seriously, we are so looking forward. It's going to be a party every day. Don
Oh
says,
my God, yeah.
silver lining to this lockdown. It's 10:19 in the UK, and I sat in a building, Peach Throat monitor enclosure, listen to the stream. Thank you so
Very
much.
Oh,
cool.
Peach
Appreciate that.
Throat. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
Peach Throats
That's
are
a-
great.
That is an awesome one.
Strudel says, what would you
I love a
consider
strudel.
getting axolotls? The problem with axolotls is they need to be cool,
Yeah.
and our place is too
Oh my
warm
God,
for them.
Oh
so
yeah,
hot,
it's 82
so
in our
hot.
Yeah,
building.
and then finally Tim just says Laura needs to write an well, I got one more. Tim says write an autobiography. She should. Could you imagine the life that she's lived right there? I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Oh my
We
God,
got
yeah.
let's see. Siri says Lori, I would totally be into doing a podcast, maybe having other wives. That's not a bad idea to have like maybe random.
Maybe.
You know, maybe possibly.
I know for a
Wine
fact
with
Jessica
wives.
would love to be
Let's
on your
see.
podcast and just bitch about all of us.
Yeah, actually, Laura and Jessica could be pretty good.
That would actually be legitimately
It
good.
could be called triple dubs, and it
Triple dubs. What about triple B?
wine with wives.
Wine with
Oh,
wives.
wait,
Triple
actually, I
dubs.
kind of like that. Actually,
Triple
that's
dubs.
actually pretty good.
All right, Catherine says love from Sweden.
Hey.
Love having you guys on the background when I'm at home. Currently have 8 ball pythons, 2 leopard geckos, 12 crescent geckos, a
Nice.
fish
Very
lap
nice.
dog, a Finnish, not a fish lap dog.
What's a
Oh, a
gepper?
Finnish lap dog. Okay.
So, anyways, guys, that was a super chat catch up. I'm trying to keep up with you guys because you guys are
Thank you,
awesome.
guys.
The rest of
All
the
of you
guys,
guys.
the rest of the
Really
guys in the
appreciate
chat, you guys are awesome
Mackenzie,
too.
thank you.
Mackenzie, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So let me just jump in really quick. I was going to talk
Yes.
about the fact that.
Yeah, bring something to the table, Brian.
Yeah, no, listen here. I mean, I'm usually driving the bus. You know what I mean? So sometimes being in the back
Yeah, we
seat's
don't
nice.
like that
you know?
direction, but go
You
ahead.
know, but it has been like today was a crazy day.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be crazy.
Insane.
I knew it was going to be crazy. But you know, I'm very thankful. Not today was crazy, but I'm thankful for how busy we still are. You know, we all have animals to care for. We have work to do. Virtual tours have been amazing. You know, I mean, they've been very busy. We've been learning how to do them better and better.
Isn't that, what is it? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes,
like you figure shit out as you have to.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you know,
much.
that's
Zoom
pretty
is
much our
definitely
life.
Zoom is definitely really great. I know Zoom has taken some abuse online. I don't know if you guys
Why?
hear about this
Oh,
because Zoom really came out as like, you know, with this, you know, social distancing, everyone loves to hang out on Zoom. A lot of happy hours, like Jade talked about how they're doing
Online
virtual,
happy hours?
happy hour, virtual
Dude,
happy hours.
Oh yeah, I've been invited
and-
to a couple of them.
Really?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're doing
It's
all
been
kinds of
fun.
stuff. So Zoom really came out, but then unfortunately, along with their success came some negativity where they basically, you know, they were like selling people's information to Google and they had to come out and apologize about it. And then of course, you know, like we do our Zoom tours with a password.
Right.
Some people don't use a password and then people just jump on and post porn on it and stuff like that during
okay.
a
Jesus,
Zoom.
Mary.
Well,
yeah,
that's, yeah.
That's just like
I
that
mean,
chat
that's not
roulette
their
shit.
fault that people are abusing it.
No,
but-
no. With the exception of selling this stuff, which every
Yeah.
social does anyways, to be honest with you, so it's not that surprising. But we
That's
have learned that
true.
Zoom is by far the best, you know,
Yeah.
Connection,
Yes,
the best
connection,
way,
yes,
yeah,
best
the
stream.
less, yep.
yeah, the least drops and stuff like that. The only thing that we ever have a problem with, or I should say I have a problem with, is that sometimes people call us, or don't call us, but they do the tours with us, and they have terrible Wi-Fi. And so
Oh,
it
yeah.
drops
We can't,
constantly,
yeah, I mean,
and it
we
sucks
can't
because
control that, but
but so
everybody's understanding. Like,
so today I knew I had 3 tours.
well,
Well,
you
no,
had,
I had 3. I
well,
had 3.
No. You had.
Well, I
you
had 2.
Two
Yeah,
on
you
the
had 2
calendar.
on the calendar.
I screwed up, and I
Yeah.
had one
Well-
on my calendar
well,
for tomorrow. That
Yeah, but we had to
actually-
replace one from yesterday that was bad.
Oh, you're right.
Right,
I
so we had
forgot about
3.
that.
We had 3. We had
yeah,
we
did
had
have
one
3
that
first.
someone had really bad Wi-Fi yesterday, so I
Okay.
had to.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I had to replace the.
Wow.
So I had 3, and then Lori accidentally ended up 4.
Dude,
So I-
you
so I-
are
yeah.
all over the place today.
Yeah, it was a crazy day, and on top of that, so that's why I was getting back to the fact that these personalized messages, which this is the thing, you know, so
You put a time thing on there though that it could take up to 48 hours.
and maybe that is, I don't know what
I
it is.
think we did.
I'm trying to do them every
because
day.
We were you're trying to, but
Yeah.
we put it on there to cover because
Yeah.
just in case days like this happen, you know. I mean,
Well, I think that-
I'm not gonna lie. You don't even know because you had that. I
Yeah.
got to stag this bit.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, listen, it's okay. Listen,
Yeah,
so
we're
this is-
comparing now.
So
this is-
tomorrow you.
Yeah, so
Damn.
this is the thing I guess what I was trying to go after with this whole topic is that I think that as a business, you know, as a business owner, you really, like you're almost talking about the mother invention, you know, necessity. It's like, I think it's, you know, you're going to have to adapt.
Yeah.
And really,
Definitely.
if you think about what we're doing now with virtual tours, personalized shout outs, adding to the gift shop, doing all these other things, I couldn't have seen any of this 3 weeks ago. You know
Well,
what I mean?
no,
Like, not,
it wasn't
I mean,
on our thing
no.
because we were already so busy with what we were doing, and that just wasn't even a thought.
Yeah.
Right. And actually, it's funny that you mentioned it, just because this new bring up on the business owner side, like of course, is something that you have to embrace, right?
You have no choice.
And also being the worker,
Yeah.
also have to embrace that as well. And like, you know, and I was kind of, you know, coming across some of those like harder humps yesterday because I was trying to figure out a way to like post on my own Instagram, like, you know, like a story that would that would relate to, you know, like you know, because we were going to help out with doing a lot of these the personalized messages and stuff like that. So like you know, and I swear I did like 20, 30 videos. and I walked in there and I even talked to Lori. I don't know if you remember me walking in there, but like I walked in and I said, Lori, and I said to Jessica, I was like, I don't know how Brian and Noah do that crap. I don't. Like, cause I can get Jay to point a camera at me and like, I can just improvise something, but to think about it. And then at the same time, hold that camera. And then like, you're doing like 3 or 4 different things and you're in your mind, you're just like,
Dude, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is what happened. So when I like I told you guys, I spent 4 hours making the plot for my 24-hour
Yeah.
Right,
challenge,
yeah,
right?
what you're gonna do,
These
yeah.
bits, this bit. I had 5 full-size pieces of paper with just all this information. And basically what I'm doing is I'm thinking about the video. Okay, I know I'm making a salt and pepper 24 hours, so I'm thinking about it. And whatever pops into my brain, I write down.
Right.
So I have this vision of me in the cage. Like I can literally see it in the
Yeah.
back of my head of me in the cage. And it's just like, what do I want to do? And then it pops into my head. And so what I mean is, so like I write it down on the paper. And then once I have the paper and I'm in the cage, I'm like, all right, now let's do this thing. Like I want to do this little bit. Like I already have the vision of what it's going to look like before I film it.
Yeah.
And I just try to recreate that vision in my head in real with the camera and all that. So yeah, there is a lot of mental multitasking going on.
It's crazy. Really a part that I begin to like. I mean, like I've known you guys for
a
quite
while.
a few years now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
we were just talking about that. Your first Snakebites video that you were
in. Like it was funny. Like my first Snakebites video.
I don't know what was it. What was it? I don't remember.
We looked it up before the podcast started.
So
what was the name of it, Jay?
It was measuring huge snakes.
Measuring huge snakes on Snakebites.
So this is one of my fondest memories because it's one of my probably earliest.
Just be careful when you Google that because something else could come up. Yeah. Go to YouTube. Yeah, go to YouTube. So this is Bruce's first. This is Animal Bites.
This is my first appearance. First
November.
appearance right here.
So
5
this is
years
right
ago.
around Thanksgiving. Right around Thanksgiving.
2014.
Wow, that's
Jesus.
6 years
Look
ago.
at me right there.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my
look
gosh.
at that! Oh my gosh! That is so funny.
With the stash and everything.
Oh my gosh, he's got the stash. And
Dude, you've held up well.
I know you look pretty much the same.
And that's actually, and the crazy thing is, that's Lucy.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So this is one of my first videos, and of course, like this is my probably first 2 weeks of working
All right,
here.
that's enough of that.
Yeah. So one of my like fondest memories about that particular video is that we had pulled out the black-tailed Cribos, and I don't know if you remember this, but like you had handed the camera to me, and you were like, all right, I need you to film this, and blah blah blah, and I'm holding the camera. And you were just sitting there talking about, like, I think it was Maya, if I remember correctly. And you were like, oh, Maya, she's such a beautiful black-tailed Cribo. And then all of a sudden just turns around and whacks you one good time right after you just said it will not bite you. And it just wrapped you so good. And I was just like, and I just remember looking at the video later and I just went like that. Like you can see the kind of jiggle of me laughing just a little bit,
it is hard because I know back in the day he'd get so mad at me because he'd have me hold the camera a lot of times in those days too.
Yeah.
And like you said,
right.
You're doing it and then you just react.
Right. And you don't realize it. And it's just like,
the thing is
kind of cool. One second. Let me talk about this real quick. It's kind of cool because with the Snakebites thing, obviously this was so long ago. 2008 is when you started.
Yeah.
And there was times when I was a kid, basically whatever year it is, that's pretty much my age through the whole year. Okay, guys. Yeah. So 2008, 2009, I'm 8 and 9. Yeah. When there's been times where I had to help you film at that young age. So I think that's also another thing that everything's added up to put me where I'm at now.
Well, it's so funny because your whole life not your whole life. I mean, you were 8 years old when we started really filming.
More than not now.
So I actually have a funny perspective on that one, just because so I have very small bit of memory with Noah, just because obviously Noah you weren't really necessarily hanging around with 23.
School, right?
Yeah. So I don't think I'd ever actually talked to you whatsoever until probably 3 years after knowing you guys. Because literally he'd come in and he'd leave.
He would come in and he would hang in the office playing his video games, doing
and be
whatever.
Gone. Yeah. And it was funny because after the first couple of times, I remember actually asking Jessica, my wife Jessica, and I was just like, who's that dude?
Yeah.
and I was just like,
when I think the first time I talked to you was after all the bullshit happened with school. And
when you were actually here,
where I was
your senior year,
yeah, exactly. I had to do online schooling
in my office,
in mom's office,
right.
Then I was there every day, and I was like, oh, who's this guy?
Yeah, who's this dude? Yeah,
it's pretty funny. I'm sure Jade, who's obviously our daughter that's watching, she probably hates the fact that when she came to work, she had to actually work.
Yes.
When Noah came to work, he played video games.
There's a difference though, because kids are different, and Yeah, I didn't.
Jade's
have to
a lot
fight.
like you.
I didn't have to fight Jade. She was like, okay, and she would just do things, and I would pay her, and I would try to do the same with him, and he'd be like, I ain't doing that.
It ain't worth the money.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna pay me.
He's like,
Ain't
nope.
no
And
money.
he would just when he was younger. When he got
But
older,
I
he
did do it.
You did,
I
because
did
some
do
days
it.
when I needed your help, I was
Well,
like, no, you're doing it,
that-
and then you would.
Yeah, and then there was summers where I would help the
Yeah.
whole summer.
No, you did. You
rolling
did the
racks and
rolling racks of
stuff.
ball pythons for summers
did
where
a lot of
there was
stuff.
like, I mean, just, oh my God, that was such a
Thousands.
horrible job.
Well, I think it's just
was
different
horrible.
too.
That was
Oh
a
my
because
God,
job.
Jessica
At the-
hated you guys so much for putting her on that. I
Well, she
remember
started.
her.
Everybody started on
Everyone
those
started
rolling
on
the
racks.
rolling racks,
She
yeah.
was on those rolling racks for however many months.
pulling the lids
and then
back
when you
over
did
and over
when
again.
you
Oh.
did good on that,
Thumbs
I
would
knew
kill.
that I could move you on.
Right,
so she
exactly.
did good, and I was like, all right, on to the leprechaun.
Right, yeah, no, exactly. Like
And
she
if
had
you
to prove
couldn't-
herself,
If you
you
couldn't
know,
do
like,
that, I was like, you're out of here.
I remember.
like you know you're a good employee when Lori throws you to the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one of the summers I was doing the rolling racks, and you guys hired some like ginger kid that was like a couple years
Oh,
older.
I do remember
And
this
I
guy,
don't
I
remember.
think.
He had the biggest attitude, like in the sense of like he was an expert, like
Oh,
he could do nothing wrong, and so I had to bring him down to earth a little bit. And I was
You
just
had to
like,
check yourself.
yeah, I was like,
This was
you
one of
doing
those
the rolling
rock
racks
bottom
now? I like made him do my rolling racks. I was like, it was my job, but I was like, no, you're gonna come over. You got to do this.
Look here, seniority rules regardless of
Oh,
age.
is that what you did? Because I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
you coming to me going, I outdid this guy. He only did this many, and I did this
Oh,
many.
yeah. I
So
was-
he did yours?
Maybe.
That's a
I don't know.
possibility.
All right,
I-
there you go.
I just remember like making him feel bad about himself.
Oh,
I
I
don't
mean, he
know.
was
You're
already
such
a
a-
redheaded
such a-
man. You
yeah.
just really
Yeah.
destroyed that kid.
Way to go, way to go. Charles says, shout out to Bruce. He was my first time. Oh, wait, what?
It was his first time coming to the Reptarium.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, what's
okay.
up, bro?
Awesome.
Hey, man. Thank you
you.
so
Thank you,
much. I
Charles.
appreciate it, man.
I was like
Charles.
confused
That's why we
there.
keep
Like,
Bruce
what?
around. He
what
does
if-
a good job.
Yeah,
yeah, I try. I certainly
Jason
try.
just said Eastern Oregon loves you. Have a place to have come. Please, seriously, Oregon. When this
Oregon
is
is
over,
a
let's go over to
phenomenal state.
Oregon when
Oh, I
this
was
is
going to
done.
say, he's inviting us. So
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And you know, Eastern Oregon, of course, is different than the coast, but it still would be amazing. I mean, it's
Oregon in general. I don't think I've been. So
I haven't.
is it?
That's one
it's
thing-
Oregon, right? Not Oregon.
That's actually a
Oh,
state I would
Oregon.
love to visit. I've been to California
just-
and
I'm
other
just
places,
asking.
but never
I
been to
say
Oregon.
Oregon.
All the
Oregon.
forests.
that
I think
whole
that-
area
oh my
there,
gosh.
I have not really been to.
Yeah, the
so.
Pacific Northwest is
Some beautiful black bears there too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know what I need to do with my life?
What do you need
Oh,
to?
what?
I need to travel America.
Word, dude. Come on.
I don't. I haven't been.
Not
to,
right now. Not
I
right
haven't
now.
been.
Well,
to-
yeah.
Oh, honestly,
Actually-
probably now would be the
Actually,
best time.
that less traffic. But
I was thinking about that,
So,
Lori.
bro, we
I
should
was
do a
I
Vegas
was
trip.
looking. I talked to you
are.
about this.
November.
I
Yeah?
think we should. I think we should actually absolutely book some vacations. You know what I mean, like for later in the year, because right now you can get steals.
Jade just
on
booked one for
everything.
Hawaii.
Yeah, but she booked for Hawaii for $400 a ticket, or like
Well, we'll talk about
$350 a
this-
ticket.
We're going to talk about this after the podcast. 'cause
I like
we're
how
not
you
aware.
guys didn't mention any of this to us until the podcast. So I just want to throw that out there. This is a deal, and we could have all jumped on this at
We-
the
we
same
gotta-
time.
we
But you
gotta-
guys are
Now
harboring
you
it
know,
all.
now you
Yeah,
know.
no, it's crazy when you look online and like Delta now, you can book a flight with
Okay.
Delta.
Can
that-
we just?
go ahead?
Yes, I say with you. This is another one of my.
Oh shit! She's got the
Dude,
list
she really
going.
came stacked today.
Hang on now.
So no, I saw an article on April 3rd. This chick flew from Washington D.C. to Boston. She was the only person on the flight.
Oh my gosh!
Literally solo flyer,
What?
entire flight. Because right now,
Yeah,
nobody.
private
No,
7 for 37.
It's not.
Right.
It's like
Better.
100 plus. It was
Yeah.
100 plus. You know.
No, that's what I'm saying. He was
person
saying
jet,
in general. you got
but
private.
they upgraded her to first class.
Well, I would hope so.
Dude, I would have been so mad if
She's
I was
like,
not
no, you're in
upgraded
row
to person."
27 in the back. You get in the back.
And then they gave her a shout out during the.
Oh my
Sure,
God.
what else are
Thank
they
you for
gonna
being
do?
the only person that came on this flight.
Could you imagine literally being the only person? We've been on
Oh,
those planes
I
how
could
many
that.
times?
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say, too, like just to say, because obviously this isn't the time to travel. She was visiting her mom who was ailing and
Oh,
has
that's
since
great.
passed.
Oh, that's
But. Like, I mean, well, seriously, like, honestly, if that was me and that was
Yeah.
my mom, I
I
would
would've done the
fly.
same thing.
Yeah,
No,
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 because,
without a
like,
doubt.
whatever it is. But Okay, but not to the sad stuff. Could you imagine being in a plane and literally being the only
It might be freaky
person?
though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
Are you
god.
kidding me?
Like
I think,
it's like
honestly,
a movie. Like,
I
it's
would,
like so
I would
weird.
totally be across as many seats as I could, just like.
Well, you can only
That's how
Pulling
you
up the
get
armrest
corona.
so you can just lay out. Yes.
I'm not gonna lie.
You
I
don't do
actually,
that.
I did that actually when I was pregnant with you. Actually, I was probably.
I was
like,
doing it too then.
Yeah, 6 or 7 months. The last trip I took before I had him in the fall, it was a reptile show, and I flew back. You
Oh,
drove
yeah, that's
back,
right, yeah.
and there was nobody else like in the whole row. And I lifted up all of the armrests, and I literally
how nice-
laid across
see how nice
all of them, and I slept.
See how
the whole
nice
way
I
home.
was? I'm like, baby.
I was
I'm like-
was very big
Okay.
and pregnant. Like it was
Okay.
pregnant. So
I guess
it
I'm
was.
not gonna
happens
say
to me all the
anything.
time.
I know.
So
Happens
I
to me all the
probably
time.
Yeah.
shouldn't
Okay.
have been going to that show.
Okay, I was
Just
going to
gonna
say
throw
something,
that, yeah.
but you
It's
said
fine.
enough, so go ahead.
So there was, you said you don't want to do sad stuff because there's something sad about what you said
What?
earlier
What's
that
that?
I think is really depressing.
Yeah.
What's that?
But we don't have to bring it down if we don't want to. Let's. We probably shouldn't bring it down.
Let's
not
go
bring
the
it
other, Let's
down.
go the other way. Yeah.
Let's not do
Probably-
it or
probably
do
best
it.
No,
not
let's not
to.
do it.
Let's not do it.
This is
Zero.
we're people are so fucking depressed.
Okay.
right
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fine.
too bummed out out
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got
that's fine,
another
that's fine.
story, and it has to do with dogs, a puppy.
Oh, I'm always
Okay, I
down
like
to talk about
now. Oh
dogs.
boy.
So this guy, he lives in Britain, in Great Britain.
Mm.
He was at his work site, and he brings home a stray puppy.
Mm.
Turns out it's not a puppy;
It's a wolf.
it's a fox cub.
Oh.
He thinks
That's a
it's
whole nother
puppy.
level.
He thinks it's a puppy. He gets it home, and then after a few days, he's like, I don't know if this is a puppy.
Doesn't look like a dog.
It's a little tiny
What
fox
do you
cub.
do?
Well, he contacted whatever.
Remember-
and they have it. But
remember
could you
when,
imagine if you
No.
bring this little thing home like,
Remember-
oh
Oh
my
my
god,
God.
his little puppy.
Remember when Stan, the dirt monkey, brought the little baby foxes?
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah, they were
Oh,
marble,
yes,
marble
I remember
foxes.
that.
Jake, can you pull
Yeah.
this shit up?
Phoebe
Marble
loved
foxes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
she
actually
was
had
like-
that. That was the only highlight I had on my Instagram for probably like 2 years.
Look at how fucking cute these
these.
are.
Oh my god!
Wait.
I loved
Can
these
we own
little
these
foxes.
as pets?
Yeah, you can own it. He was selling them.
How much?
They were like 300.
Is that a
bucks,
dog
wasn't
or
it?
a
Oh my
cat?
god!
Oh,
Yes.
It's a fox.
It's a
baby
fox.
fox.
I mean, like
baby
so the
Look
pet.
at how cute
Oh
that
my
is.
goodness! It looks
Oh, look at
cattish.
it.
And they
Don't
looked
you
just
see?
they looked
Look
almost
at
just
that.
like
that's
the
more
ones-
like that's more fox
Yeah, he
like.
he
Aw.
brought 2 of them for us. They were like maybe 8-10 weeks. He works with a rescue, and they rescued this and
It's a Save a Fox rescue.
yeah,
if I
Save a
remember
fox. Yeah,
correctly.
Save a fox rescue.
save a
yeah,
fox.
So,
Absolutely awesome
So
chick,
are people-
Michaela. There you go.
Jay, do you
Shout out.
mind looking this up? Are marble foxes hypoallergenic?
I go.
I sure hope so.
I wanna
I
see.
don't- I don't.
Probably not.
To
I
see
don't
if they are a
think so.
possibility
So I can
for
see,
you.
see if I can get one. Hypo,
That'll be interesting.
yeah.
Because I see what you're saying. Yeah,
For
yeah, it's got so much fur. You
Yeah,
know,
we're
I
gonna
mean,
Oh
see.
yeah, those are probably dander machines
No,
like
you're gonna have
cats.
to get some kind of doodle,
no, I don't see anything that
Some-
says otherwise.
some kind of stupid doodle. That's what you need.
Get yourself a hairless cat.
okay.
You'll be fine.
Oh,
Honestly,
dude, I
that's not a
have
bad
plenty.
idea.
They're awesome. Dude,
You like 'em?
I love my cat so much. So I have
Sphinx
two
cats.
two
There you
hairless
go.
cats.
Yeah, I guess that
And
would work.
since
right?
there's no hair, you can't be allergic to it.
Exactly.
So 100%, if
Or-
if you keep them clean, they will definitely not give your allergies up. But I have really bad allergies, and if I
they
if
get dander probably.
oh yeah
right?
yeah they get this weird like, and I'm talking about disgusting brown oil skin like on their
Ooh.
body.
No, you know what? I do
Like-
know because we kept the hairless rats.
Yeah,
yeah.
so
And-
they would
yeah.
rub up against. So we have white
They
walls
got
in my house.
gross.
Yeah, so and they would rub up against the walls, and there'd be brown stuff all over
Jay,
the place.
do me a favor. Can you try to
Oh,
punch
they're
up?
cute as can be. Too.
Yeah, that is a cute one.
That's like I think it's what, like a Gambino Sphinx cat because they have the
I
shorter
would.
legs.
I wouldn't mind owning that one.
Jay, can you pull up
Look at
Look at the
Rhino
so
Mice?
Angry
angry.
one.
He's so angry looking.
I think
Rhino
they all
mice.
have that angry look.
Dude, oh my God,
Take
Sheldon
a-
constantly stares at me like
Hey
that.
guys, take a look at this real quick.
Oh, it looks like
Remember-
my
Yeah,
ball
you're taking
sack.
me back to when we had.
We
those
used to
nasty
breed these.
things.
We used to breed these.
Oh my God.
Jesus, Mary
That
and
is
Joseph.
literally
Oh, you don't even
testicle.
know.
That is a
No.
living testicle.
No, that
The
is a
skin-
testicle with legs and a head
The
and
skin
ears.
never stops growing. Like,
What?
like they would just there would be too much.
So
skin
they
at
look like
some
like
point.
little naked mole rats.
Oh, so
my
bad, so
God.
gross.
That's
Yeah, they were
insane.
super cool.
I've
I love
never,
it.
yeah,
And
never.
then-
Super gross.
And let me tell you the story about behind that is that we were dealing with a place called Taconic, which was a rodent, in Taconic, New York, yeah. And So they were a lab, and they were selling us their extra mice. And a lot of them, they sold nude mice to us because nude mice weren't that popular in the pet trade. And so we were buying them for pennies on the dollar. You know, they were sending us all kinds. And every now and then we'd get this nude mouse that was all wrinkly. And I was like, what the hell is this, man? And so finally I called up, her name was Jennifer. And I said, what is this wrinkly mouse? And she's like, oh, those are called Rhino Mice. She goes, would you like a couple?
Of course
and they were
he
like,
would.
They were like $180 a piece. But she's like, I'll just send you a couple. Just don't tell anyone.
Wow.
And
That's
of
a
course,
good
now I've
friend.
told everybody.
What?
But so
This
she
was
sent
way
us.
long time
Yeah,
ago.
wait,
My
this is
itches.
25 years
Yeah.
ago. And so we got them and we started
then he
breeding
bred
them.
them.
Oh, and speaking of another mouse that
so
we
after
bred,
sulfurs.
can you pull up Darwin's large-eared mice?
That was one of your first gifts for me.
I bought your mom a Darwin's large-eared mouse.
At the Columbus, Ohio reptile show.
Large-eared mouse. Yep,
Can I
large-eared
interrupt
mouse.
while he's looking at
Honestly,
this real quick?
Yeah.
So cute.
Erica, there was Erica. I can't remember the last name. The message disappeared, but oh wait, no, it's still right there. Her son Aiden is a big fan. Hey Aiden, thanks
Hey,
for
what's
watching.
up, Aiden? What's going on, man? Thank you so much for your
Look
support.
at that right
Oh man,
there.
that said Savannah,
yeah,
Georgia
yeah.
too.
No,
Oh!
No, not that one.
No,
The
go down.
big-eared
Go
one.
down.
Cute.
7
Look
truly
at
weird
that thing.
species. No, that's a jerboa.
No, you
That's a
bought
jer-
her that.
That's a jerboa, I think, to be honest with you.
No.
That is a
Yeah,
jerboa.
that's
It
a
says.
jerboa.
It says
Yeah.
jerboa. Wait,
But the
what's-
Darwin's large-eared mice look very similar.
Is that it?
These pictures are not good of them at
No.
all.
Darwin's leaf-eared
literally-
Yeah,
mouse.
these are leaf-eared,
No,
so it's not exactly
They look
the same.
like Mickey Mouse.
They literally look like the
They
jerboa,
were
but in
so
a mouse.
cute. We had them. Okay, can I tell the whole story?
Sure.
yeah, go for
Oh,
it.
I want to.
So we had them. This is back when you lived at your mom's.
Yep, I
still.
lived in my mom's.
And you had your reptile room.
Yep.
And then we
And
had
they
a
had a
little,
little rodent
tiny
room.
rodent room that was there. And, you know, as with rodents, sometimes
They
stuff
get out.
gets out.
Oh yeah.
So,
Are you going to tell about the trunk story? Oh, God, my brother, if he watches this, I'll be
he won't
fucked.
watch
Let's watch. I want to hear.
My sister watches, though.
She'll
Come on.
laugh.
I've
She'll
never heard-
laugh.
Okay, so Cindy, if you are watching this or listening to this, you cannot tell Glenn about this.
Tell everyone.
All right, I want to
Okay,
hear.
go
I've never
ahead.
heard this.
Go ahead.
So some got out, unfortunately.
Okay.
And so we were cleaning the basement. We're trying to figure out where are these things living. We're putting traps, this and that. And then at some point, it's just like because it's your grandma's basement.
Yeah,
So
I know.
there was shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
stuff
cluttered.
from their childhood, like
yeah.
all of this stuff. So we just start cleaning stuff out because
Yeah.
obviously rodents were out and living and breeding, and we didn't know where. So
Uh-oh.
as we start cleaning stuff out, we come across this trunk.
It's a hope chest of my brother's that has all of his memories from first communion all the way through his whole life.
Uh-oh.
His hope
And-
chest. It's
yep.
a big, like 3 foot
It's
big
a
chest.
big like
Hope
toy
chest.
chest
And it
looking
was
thing.
filled to the rim with like every birthday card he ever had, every communion,
So we
everything.
open it, and I don't know like if you've ever seen like a mouse's nest.
Yes,
Everything,
I have.
everything,
Some of like rabbit
everything
nests,
is just
actually.
chewed,
yeah.
Chewed up, yep.
Everything is chewed up or whatever. So, oh yes.
Yeah.
And so it is just like this huge nest. That is where all of them went. So we cleaned it out, got rid of everything. I think there were like 4 cards.
Oh my gosh.
And like
I'm talking there's
anything
like,
that we could
yeah.
salvage that was like whole and didn't have like chewed
I
or
can't believe you're
piss
telling
on.
this story.
And like so literally this whole chest full of things, and then we cleaned it all out. We kind of tried to scrub it, did whatever, and then we put like these 5 cards and like whatever it was in there and just
Yeah.
closed it and just
Yeah, we
pretended
basically
like that's
we
what
basically
was there.
erased
Oh my
your
God.
uncle's life.
Oh
we
my
erased his
God.
life in one swoop.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't matter because he doesn't never talk
I
about
don't.
it.
You know what? I
I don't know that he ever realized it.
That's
or
what I
not.
mean.
I'm
Yeah,
not
we
sure.
don't really know what
There you go.
happened or whatever. It never came up as a big
never
thing.
came up,
So
yeah.
I think you're right, and it was best just to not be
Talk
said.
about it.
But
Like,
now everyone
but
knows.
I remember,
now
yeah,
everyone knows,
when
and I
that
guarantee you
happened-
somehow that's going to get rid of my brother.
No,
Yeah,
no,
probably.
Now
I
I'm
don't
going to
think
have to have
so.
this
I
conversation.
don't think so, but yeah,
It's fine.
You know,
Honestly, that was so many years
those
ago.
those mice
John-
were so cute though.
Jonathan Bell says, just trying to get you to reconsider an olive python. Seriously, though, they're beautiful snakes and they look amazing. I love
They're
olive
beautiful,
python.
We do love 'em.
Jonathan,
Jonathan.
but
No,
Let's
I
see.
love those guys, So Strudel says, shout
a
out
luck
to
thing.
Zoe for being a patient doggo while us humans do a talk.
Zoe, they said shout out to you, little sweetheart.
Zoe is amazing.
She's a
She's
good
so good.
dog.
She's a
She's
very,
been such
very
a good
well
dog.
behaved dog. But yeah, so there you go. My one thing that I never wanted the world to know Now everyone knows.
You're one, literally. Okay.
If you picked one thing,
I
if you
doubt
picked
it.
one thing in the world, no, there's plenty more.
I was going to say that, like, I saw your wedding photos, so that's already been
Well, shout out to my son-in-law Michael, who's trying to emulate them now.
Oh, yeah,
because
he's got
he
the
decided
porn
to. He
stash.
shaved his whole beard off and
got the
just
porn
got
stash.
this big stash
way.
going. That's his
Oh.
quarantine look. Yeah, Jade
Dude.
sends me pictures like, what the hell is he doing?
like,
this point.
like that's straight pedophile like. You know
that
what I
was
mean?
a-
Oh
that-
my God,
that-
seriously?
Tagged a
That's awesome.
pedophile in it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
No, all right. Just because I said that, I have to say this. There are a couple of unfortunate cameos that I might be in Snakebite videos with me with some of
Yes,
some
exactly.
stuff.
I was
Like,
going to
That first
say
one,
yours
yeah.
is coming in now. So
I got shaved mine real bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I may not have thought of that one quite through.
I've done it before for
Oh, you love
jokes.
it.
I like growing. Like I can't grow good facial hair.
Yeah.
All I can grow is a shitty mustache and a shitty chin strap
Yeah.
thingy.
Yeah.
So
You're like me.
like you know, and I
was,
want a
yeah.
beard, so I'll just grow a fucking mustache, and then I look like a creeper. But it's just like, hey, this is all I got, bitch.
Yeah, you're young. It's
And that's
coming
really what
in.
that's what it was with my wedding photo too. I couldn't.
Literally,
you know,
that's all
still
you
like
could
now
grow.
I probably can maybe grow a little bit of a beard,
You
but it
could.
would be
You could.
patchy. It'd
No,
be patchy.
it wouldn't. I can see.
At this
Yeah.
point, it would
Because-
fill in.
But it took
okay.
like 40
Especially-
years
Yeah.
to get to that point.
Yeah,
You know,
let-
like the
wait,
first
go-
40
wait.
years.
For
Look
me,
other
I actually
way.
have
There's
these.
still
other
some
way.
like spots and stuff like that.
Yeah,
for
but
me,
when it
I-
gets long,
my
it
bad,
will
go ahead.
blend in.
I don't know.
So
Maybe.
for me, I had actually so one side actually grows in and the other doesn't.
Interesting.
And the
Same.
reason why is actually because well, for me it was actually because of scars. Like so I had been in a bad incident, and then like half my face was actually
Okay.
scarred up. I mean, you could even see the scars. I had 13 stitches go down to my head and
Damn.
stuff.
Okay. Yep.
So like that side of my face now, like no hair
Yep.
grows on it. It's like straight baby soft, man. Like
That's
it's
interesting.
really weird to me.
So
you
you'd
know?
have to like pencil that shit in.
Yeah, if I had to, yeah, a small little makeup pencil, you know,
Right.
yeah.
Like
Jessica helps.
my old barber, Barbie was her name.
Yeah.
She told me this, and it's true. My right side of my body has more hair than the left side does.
That's interesting.
It's like a chemical imbalance.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
It's like because of my back of my neck, like this side my right side will get real hairy. The left side of my neck doesn't really get
Really?
hairy. My left side of my face doesn't grow in as thick. It's a lot patchier. I don't know. I
wonder
think
if
like
that
my
must-
maybe
maybe
my
that's
left
a thing.
butt
I
cheek
don't
is
know.
like
No
less
idea.
hairy.
I saw.
I
don't-
don't want to know.
You can see it if
I
you
don't.
want.
No, I don't.
No,
We
we
can test
prefer
it.
not
We're
to. Yeah,
All right, I'm
that'll
just
be on your
saying.
OnlyFans page.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
Right,
There you
perfect.
go.
Let me write that down.
One
Yeah,
ball
that's
is
right.
more
That's
hairier than the other.
Yeah.
It's the right ball, guys. It's the right ball.
the
I'm
right
dominant,
ball.
so it's the right
I'm
ball.
right ball dominant.
Someone asked.
Don't
I
shame
saw
me.
in the chat. I'm just kind of looking at the chat as we're going. We need to get a Mangchang viper. I couldn't agree more. I love
What's a-
Mangchang.
So
That is
can
actually one of
Can you
my
pull that up,
favorite
Jay?
snakes. They're
Mangchang
gorgeous.
viper.
You know the mossy tree frogs?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the
they
pattern
look
is so
kinda-
much
They
similar.
look like that.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like that. Lori, do you remember?
Mangs-
Yeah, you can see
Mikey.
that.
There
That's
you
a
go. That's a
Mangchang
good
right
one.
there.
Yeah, Protobothros.
So Lori,
Oh,
Lori, do you remember being in China?
that's beautiful.
Do you remember being in
Yes.
China and we went to that like really sketchy apartment?
Oh my god.
And
Oh,
we like
this is
we
a good
pulled,
story.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
this apartment. It's like, China is different to begin with, right? And so we were
Whole nother
I think
world.
well we were in a suburb of Beijing at the time. We were up in Beijing and we go up there and actually the guy had a really cool collection, but it's in this like really like, concrete building. The elevators are very, aesthetically, kind of just bland, and you go up and it almost looks like, I don't even know, like a dormitory or something like that.
Yeah.
We go in there and the guy had Mangchang vipers, he had king cobras, monocle cobras, stuff. And I remember I was playing with a little cobra on the floor, and I remember you saying like, don't get bit in China. That's how she's thinking, like, don't get bit in China, please,
Can I ask
Oh,
your
look
opinion
at
on
that.
Not
something?
coming home.
Look at that.
God,
That's
that color
beautiful,
is
man.
beautiful.
Can I ask you about something?
Yeah.
So you know how the staple venomous snake
Yeah.
is the king cobra.
Yeah, well,
If-
yeah, I see what
when-
you're saying.
It's like the ultimate goal snake.
Right, it's
yeah.
like it's like everybody knows what a king cobra is.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like
Sure.
you go up to a random person, king cobra, they're gonna know it is. So I think that I think king cobras are really cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're one of the coolest snakes in the world. But I think that there are a lot of snakes, venomous, non-venomous,
Yeah.
that are just as cool, if not cooler, but they're not as well known. Just like that
that
viper.
makes
I've
sense.
never
Agree.
seen that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But damn, that thing is way more beautiful to me personally than a king cobra.
I think
is,
the thing about the
I've
king
never heard
is,
of it.
I think the thing about the king is the fact that it's a venomous snake that can get 15 foot long.
So-
It's super intelligent.
Okay.
It can pump more venom into you than any other snake on the planet. So it has all these intangibles about it that is so unique. You know,
Yeah.
it's the largest venomous snake on the planet.
15 foot.
Yeah.
huh?
So he put this guy up, but I would actually
love
say
that.
that this guy's a beautiful one. It's the Aspida, I think.
That
The
red
Aspidus
one,
Aspida
dude.
there. Like, but like if you put up the blue Insularis,
So,
I'm
oh yeah,
telling you,
blue and
you will,
Solaris
your
are
eyes
amazing.
will widen.
And you know those aspers are actually, they call those hairy bush vipers. Is what they call those.
INSUL.
Yeah, hairy
There you go.
bush vipers is what they call it. Yeah, this is the
my
Insularis.
God.
These guys are from Indonesia. Beautiful animals.
These are some of my favorites. It's one of my bucket species for sure to get at one point.
So
Like,
where
Yeah,
would
we
you
saw some of
find
those.
one
God,
of
they're
those in the
gorgeous.
wild?
in
Like,
Indonesia. Yeah, and
right,
we
right.
actually saw these.
setting, like
Did you
Oh,
actually?
these are such. Oh
no,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
we
No
saw,
shit.
Didn't
you
see them in the
actually- oh my
wild.
God.
Didn't see them in the wild. We saw them in collections in
okay.
they were pretty common in collections. But yeah, they're a rainforest animal.
Rainforest.
Big time rainforest animal.
very
so,
beautiful.
But they're Insularis are real, and not all of them are blue, but the blue ones are truly amazing.
They're for
So,
sure sought after.
Yeah,
You-
those are the you can see some of the ones are green and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
You would
can
need,
definitely
like-
see that one's
There's
got
a
some speckling
Trimosaurus.
over here.
Yeah,
you need like
Trimosaurus.
permits.
No, I don't think you need permits for those. I think that they're pretty.
Probably depends on the
In the state, in the county.
Yeah, if you're like Michigan's pretty lax. I can have a king cobra without a permit at all
Wow.
here. So
That's cool.
yeah, it's beautiful snakes.
I
But,
just wanted to bring up because Noah said
What?
Just
666. Oh, we went down to 664.
Hail Satan.
Oh,
I was
man.
just gonna say how you were saying about all these animals that aren't very popular.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's funny, but I think back to way back in the day when we were first together and you know, maybe the first 10 years of the hobby,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff like that, when all these different things were not even, you know, just coming in and collections were just being built. People were just now starting to private breed. The biggest thing that was out there was like all these different kinds of colubrids
Yeah.
and stuff like that, which would be a king snake, rat snake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
corns,
that
gophers, now,
corns,
yeah.
right? And there's so
Skinny
many,
bitties.
so many cool animals
Yeah.
that you never see now. Like you
Yeah.
said, you know, now it's
Yeah.
like okay, corn snake, ball python,
Mexican
you know,
black.
you know what I
that-
mean?
I think
there's
there's been
still
a-
so many
yeah.
cool animals that
Oh my
people
God,
now
so
would be like, oh my
freaking
God, what is
many.
that? But back in the day, like we knew what all of those were.
I
you
think
know?
that
Melon
I think-
Dorfi,
yeah,
oh my
yeah.
God.
I think
Yeah.
that there's been a resurgence of
It's starting
colubrids
to,
over the
yep.
last 5-6 years. You know, I think there's been I think ball
But I would
pythons.
encourage people, like,
Yeah.
you know what, if you're just now in the hobby, do a little research because there are some really awesome, cool
Yeah, I mean, we just
animals.
got some colubrids in
Yeah.
today that we used to work with about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I won't
Ruin the
ruin the surprise, but it'll be in a vlog in the next couple days. And yeah, I mean, there were colubrids that we were super
Yeah, there's
excited
all
about
kinds
getting.
of things that are just out of the norm. Not a ball python,
Yeah.
not a corn snake, not you know what I mean.
And,
That,
and believe it or
that
not,
are
there's actually some
accessible.
importance here. Like
Yeah.
you know, for people to seek out like maybe out different species, like stuff that's maybe not being widely bred. It helps our hobby and it helps the wild as well because it keeps us from pulling wild pets out in the wild. You know?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a
but
huge
there's,
thing to do.
Yeah, it is something that, like even bull snake mutations and stuff like that used to be, there was a guy named Terry Van Deventer that had probably 25 different bull snake mutations.
Yep.
Now you see like, hypo still waters, you see albinos, there's
some incredible
anthracics,
ones.
white-sided, stuff like that. You see some, but he had like 25. He had solid purple ones that were 100% purple.
What?
Yeah. And,
Like royal purple or like
no,
light
I'm talking
purple?
like purple,
Wow,
like Easter
like-
purple with no patterning at all.
Dude, that would
patternless
blow
ones.
my mind
He
to
had
see a purple snake.
leucistics. And I always think like, where did they go? Like he had them
Yeah.
all at. I remember being at the Orlando
Yep.
show. He was right across from us. His entire table was full of like 20, 25 different bull snake mutations. And of that, maybe 5 of them now are being offered. Like, where did the other 20 go?
No, I
What?
think
They're
it's just like
gone.
anything. They just kind of petered out because, like,
Right.
it's just the whole market comes and goes with people
Yeah.
who are interested and
blows my
not.
mind.
And there were so many
It's
things
insane.
at some point, and then the interest went down, and people stopped working with them. And
Well, I
then
think
they
what happened too is
disappear.
ball pythons became so popular
exactly.
that people
Yeah.
were
Before
like,
almost flooded the market.
Before ball
Yeah.
pythons,
Yeah.
that's it.
well, that was the
Colubrids
thing,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
was
Colubrids.
all
I
you
think that's
had.
what happened
Yep.
is like people were like, well, I can breed this really cool conspiculatus, or I can breed this, you
Yep.
know, whatever Mollendorffi
Spilets
or whatever it is, or I can put a ball python there and make a lot more money.
Exactly.
And
because back
ball
then,
pythons were
ball pythons,
cool.
you made a lot of money.
Yeah, and the ball pythons were cool, but they were just a lot of money, so people
And
were
that
like,
was,
I could
and
get
it was
into
the
that.
new thing.
Kinda like
And
boas are
everybody
now,
wants to
really.
be the
Yeah,
new
and well,
thing,
that
yeah.
happened to our collection though too. If you think about it, because we were breeding Bismarck ring pythons, D'Albert's pythons.
Bismarck
we
ring
had
python.
remember
Oh,
we
yeah.
had
Oh my God, we had so many of those.
Oh
Yeah,
my
we had-
God.
yeah, we had
you
like-
never
they-
see those
they are
anymore. You really
assholes.
never see
yeah,
those.
we had a ton of
It's
Bismarck ring
so
pythons,
funny.
and I mean, we remember we were breeding yellow anacondas
Yeah.
for years. We're
I
breeding
Another one you
yellow
don't see a lot
anacondas.
of, really.
I hated those.
Yeah, we bred the shit.
I
out
don't
of
blame you on the
yellow
yellows though, like for real.
Yeah.
So mean. That's why. I
Oh,
was so
speaking of
against
which,
Like maybe
greens.
met two in my life and I hated
Alright.
every one
No,
of
we're
them.
not.
No, not yellows.
Okay.
I did. Andy actually reached out to me, and there was a guy that had an 8-foot green male tame.
No,
What?
An
Why?
8-foot green
No.
anaconda.
Green anaconda.
we don't need to breed
Oh,
those.
it's so
have
much
a
work.
dual habitat with ivy.
Oh,
That's
that
what
would
I'm
be kinda
saying.
cool.
You could
No.
have Ivy and the male in there, and
Yeah.
I don't even want to feed into this
Andy,
though.
go away. No,
No, I think it'd be pretty
No.
cool.
no.
Would it work though?
Oh,
No.
it would totally work. In that enclosure,
So okay,
I
then that
agree, but-
enclosure, and then she turns into a bitch. How does that work?
she
That's
doesn't
true.
turn into. Why would she
Oh,
turn into a
How
bitch?
do you know? Sometimes
Sometimes
when you
that
breed
happens.
animals,
Breeding?
that's what happens.
No.
Is that a chance we want to take? No.
Shit happens.
I don't know. We don't really pull her out much.
Yeah, exactly. She's got a huge cage. She
I
just
mean,
looks good inside her cage.
I love you.
Hey,
Laura,
I'm not
sorry, but-
antagonizing
No.
the beast.
All right. So my next, let's
Oh,
see. I
let's-
had
let's go.
another.
Let's
They're like, let me pull up another topic. Let's change this
Go ahead, Joe.
No way.
Okay.
Oh, I
another
wanted
topic.
to talk about.
Put
You wanna
she
talk about
put her foot down.
No, go ahead. I
that,
want
do
to.
that.
I want to talk about something here in a minute, but
that
I want
first,
you
do
to
that
do that. Go ahead.
So I had a really cool topic
Okay.
that I just found out about, and I'm going to do more research on. So I saw that a lot of these artists are doing like quarantine concerts because
Yeah, I've heard about
that
that.
we're
Which is
in
super
this.
Yes.
cool.
No, exactly. This is the first time today that I did it, so I was seeing, and they're doing them like via YouTube live stream or Instagram live.
Like
Some
some
are
of them are even doing
Twitch.
it for free. Like
No,
it's
all of
insane.
these are free.
Really? No
because-
shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
wow,
doing
that's
it,
cool.
and
Well,
then
they're
you
bored,
can do
too.
you can do
Yeah.
the donations, just like people super chat
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's awesome that these artists are doing that, knowing that well, number one, think about it. They're all quarantined. I've never heard so many interviews as I have in my life. Driving in, like,
Yeah.
because
Oh
They're
my God.
available.
all
They're
yeah,
available.
sitting
all
around
their
doing nothing,
concerts
twiddling
are
their thumbs.
canceled. They're all home,
Yeah.
so they're doing whatever. So now they're like trying to do,
want-
kind of like we are. Like, okay, what would the people like?
Like you said, it's super nice of them. Guess what Instagram did?
What?
Tory Lanez had the biggest live stream on Instagram ever with the most
Wow.
concurrent viewers. It was around 350,000 live viewers.
Wow.
While he
Yeah.
was doing this thing called quarantine radio.
Right.
That's what he was on. He was bringing on huge star. I mean, he's a huge star himself.
Tory Lane, I don't
and
know him.
He already
so.
had millions of followers before. He did it for 2 days, gained 1.6 million more followers.
Holy
That's how
shit.
big this was. But he's a rapper. He's a musician. He makes like
Okay.
kind of R&B and rap music.
Mhm.
So it goes with the territory to be like, this isn't even offensive because it's true. Kind of raunchy. You know
Right,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna swear. You're gonna be smoking weed like on the live. That's what rappers do, right?
did they, like-
So Instagram disabled his live streaming feature.
Oh,
He even
man.
made a separate Instagram account called Quarantine Radio. They disabled the live streaming
It's
on
not
that.
surprising because it's owned
But
by
why?
Facebook, and
Yes.
Facebook is
Yeah,
very
they're-
rigid
I know.
with their guidelines.
Like they're
that's so
kind of getting
wrong of
Mormony.
them.
I'm just saying.
That's
like,
so
a little
wrong of them to
Mormon-like.
do.
Like I get it from one standpoint
Of
because
what?
of kids. No, because of kids.
But why do they have access to that? Why do your kids have access
You know
to that?
why? Because people don't parent their children properly.
Right. So why is that our problem that we have to deal with? That
Well,
should
the
be
world-
the
Yeah, you shouldn't-
parents.
yeah, you shouldn't punish
Unfortunately-
everybody for
Unfortunately,
that.
it is
Yeah.
because that's what the society we live
Yeah.
in is. People
But
don't parent.
there's
their children.
there's a safe balance between the both. Like really, like that, like that's what politics is about. It's
I
just
mean-
finding that safe balance. One or the other.
I mean, people
By
said
the way,
that I was a crazy. Oh, go ahead.
No, by the way, I was just going to say Gino had posted that there's nothing wrong with rocking the porno stash from the 70s 70s. You know what I'm saying?
I might just shave the beard
You
for a little
know,
while,
and
get it
you know what I
going,
mean?
get a little squirrely going. You know what I'm saying?
There's nothing wrong with that at all. We've got Gino said again, Blue and Solaris may be on the
On its way to the house.
Why in the house? Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get them. I could, so literally, I
I'll
really,
take that thing.
I've talked about this, and I know Lori's really opposed to it, and I understand.
So of course you'll bring it up. But
No,
okay.
no. I do see, your point on this one. But I really would like, especially, Bruce works with a lot of venomous snakes.
Yes, I
knew
do.
exactly
And
where you
I've
were
thought
going.
about that. If we do 3.0, it would be so cool
So
to have
I'm
some
not.
venomous
So
snakes.
Lori, you're gonna hate me so much for this, but
Yeah,
I figured
well.
I'd actually. I've thrown this out a number of times, Brian. I had actually thrown it out your way at all, but if you were to actually build a venomous area, I would actually donate my entire collection.
See that?
to
Look at
this.
that! Oh my
And
gosh!
we would, and so
Then it could
to
just
be
be
fully
here.
frank, there are a lot of snakes I don't let on about, and I think you would really enjoy a lot.
Oh
of
my
them,
gosh!
for sure.
Yeah, see that?
Yeah.
No.
There's
I-
And
just-
I will work
we
with every
can't-
one of them because they're my
Yeah,
We
snakes.
they're
can't
your
talk
snakes.
about this on the podcast. All I'm going
Eh.
to say is there's so many liabilities.
I knew you'd
on
hate.
it.
Yeah,
I
no,
know.
I-
I
and
know.
like-
It's
that's
not
why-
that I
and that's
completely
hate it.
understand. No,
It's
I
like I got
completely-
to come at it from a completely smart business standpoint.
You know,
The
and-
liabilities that are
I know.
there,
Yeah.
I'm not willing to take.
No, and I
That,
totally.
I completely get. No, I mean, because if I'm
yeah.
on, even if it's
Even
me,
if you're an
if it's my
employee
snake,
and you
if I
get
get
bit
bit on
and
your
you
property,
die,
yeah,
Then I'm fine.
it's on your property,
Right.
and
Like,
that's where you're
can't-
liable.
I can't
True.
take that on.
Yeah.
No,
And
and I-
obviously, we wouldn't have
Yeah.
them ever open to the public.
No
They'd be just
doubt.
on
No, we would never
display,
pull a venomous
but,
snake out in front of people.
I mean, not a
like I
chance
said,
I'm willing to take.
I see
You
your
got-
point.
You
on
don't
it.
have a very big window, but you've got a bigger window with a sloth than you do with the.
So we got.
I said it's
Damn.
still not. No, yeah,
Dad.
I didn't fucking say green light.
Dad.
I said.
That sounded like a green
Lord.
light
I
to
said
me.
a
Okay.
sliver.
Because we have those
Okay.
venomous
Okay.
snakes free.
Sliver.
Come
Okay.
on.
Dad,
Okay.
you
A
gotta,
bigger sliver.
Okay.
you gotta, you gotta push the venomous stuff more.
I know.
So that we
because
can get a
it's
sloth.
So actually, I wanted to actually clarify in this one. So if we were to provide maybe anti-venom for those said animals, if that were
Well,
a
I saw
possibility,
somebody-
let's just say it's a possibility. Let's just say
I
for a
saw
second.
actually, ironically enough, Jay actually, just the letter J said, "Do you keep antivenin?" Now, let me just tell you, antivenin is number one. There's all kinds of different antivenin, right? For rattlesnakes, there's crowfab, and then there's all kinds of different elapid, whatever the venom is. Each with the, crowfab is the cheapest of the antivenins, but most antivenin is like $10,000 a vial. And when you get done by, let's say, an elapid, you might need 6 or 10 vials of it.
Up to 25K for
Yeah,
crowfab.
yeah, and yeah. So there you go. So you basically, and you got to remember that most antivenin is only really good for 1 year shelf life. So when you're keeping venomous snakes, it is impossible to keep updated,
Enough.
non-expired antivenin economically, because you might have to have $100,000 worth of antivenin on site that would have to just get thrown away 12 months later.
Exactly.
So it's just not practical. When a lot of people are like, "Oh, if you keep venomous snakes, you should keep antivenin." It's just not practical. Nobody does. I mean, zoos do because
I
that's
was
part of
gonna
the
say,
thing.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. Or if you're actually a lab.
But
Yeah.
for a point of preference, we actually do keep bite protocols and epinephrine. I'm sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
But we keep both those things on hand in our home,
Yeah.
and it is a huge point that even if somebody decided to get into venomous snakes, that's something that I always recommend.
Yeah.
Is like at the very least, make sure you have a bite protocol for every individual animal. I'm talking about locale as well. It
Yeah,
does
that way you
not
can take
mean
that-
squat
yeah.
just because you have a Bitis areatus. You need to know that Bitis areatus, like to what locale. Is this from Tanzania?
Yeah.
Is it from Cameroon? Where is it from?
And what you want to do, obviously, for that protocol is you take that to the hospital when you get bit. So that way the
Exactly.
hospital isn't treating you for a rattlesnake bite when you have a pit viper bite.
Right.
Pit viper is a rattlesnake, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if it's a bushmaster, As a matter of fact, our friend Rodney got bit by a bushmaster years ago. And,
Kessie?
No. Local guy here in Michigan.
Oh, Robbie. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I heard Rodney.
Rodney.
Oh, I heard Robbie.
No, Rodney.
I was like,
And,
really, Robbie?
And it was actually a horrible thing, obviously.
He
And,
almost
yeah.
died.
and he almost died, and there was
Like an African bush viper?
No, it wasn't a bush. It was a bushmaster.
Bushmaster.
Yeah,
Oh,
bushmaster.
no.
And so they're nasty, nasty bites. And of course, Dean Ripa, before he was killed by his wife, which I find interesting in itself, just the fact that Dean, gets done. It's like, that's a whole nother story. But it was like Tiger King all over again.
Right, you ain't lying. I was about to say that. I was totally going down that route. It totally was.
Yeah, Bushmaster King. But he, thankfully, Rodney was in the hospital in intensive care, and they literally had told his family,
say your goodbyes.
Say your goodbyes, because his blood pressure was crashing, and they were crushing him with antivenin. And ultimately, his wife, as one last ditch effort, got a hold of Dean Ripa, who had been bitten a few times and written books on bushmasters. And Dean advised the hospital, who was treating him improperly, and within 12 hours, he was on his road back. Wow. The interesting thing that I find interesting I talked to Rodney about this, and the interesting thing was it's a neurotoxin. And so for like 6 to 12 months, he hated going to sleep at night because he would have crazy dreams.
Oh, shit.
Like he said, he goes, I hate going to sleep because I wake up in these bizarre lucid dreams because that neurotoxin really was messing with his brain for months and almost a year later.
No shit.
So it was wild.
Like
but
they talk about lingering effects with Venom all the
Yeah,
time, but to
yeah.
think that it was neurological.
Yeah,
wow,
to do that.
that's insane.
And it's funny, they say in
What
Australia,
amazing.
almost every keeper you can think of in Australia has been bitten. Even our buddy Peter Birch has been bitten by death adders.
Oh yeah, Peter Birch. What a cool guy.
There's this funny thing that I believe to be true, and I want to know what you think. So you know how you said there's like after effects from getting bit by that stuff?
Yeah.
So people say that there's like if you do like acid or something,
LSD.
it may get like stored somewhere in your
does,
body,
yeah, it can.
and that if you like shake, like if you fall, I'm just throwing out a crazy example.
Sure.
But like let's say you
knock it
fall,
loose.
and then you knock it loose, and then all of a sudden a year
tripping
later
again.
you're
Tripping
tripping. You're just like,
Oh my God.
Could that happen with the venom where let's say you got bit, maybe you thought like it was a dry bite or something, but then you knock a wall and then all of a sudden you're like got the effects
I don't
of
think
some
that.
venom.
I doubt that it could last like that. I think that you have effects, but for instance, like black mamba bite. Residual. But like black mamba bites, for instance, Heidi. I know that I saw her name pop
She
up.
got
Our
bit
friends.
by a black mamba?
No, she didn't get bit, but they helped treat her and Arno treat black mamba bites and all South African.
Oh man,
bites,
they are absolute heroes.
Yeah,
where
they're
are from,
great.
man.
But what happens with black mambas? Oftentimes you get bit and you're fine for like 10 or 12 hours, and then it hits you. So what happens a lot of times is people go to the hospital.
Okay, you
think you're okay, that you go to the hospital even, and you're like, oh yeah, you're good. You go home, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, your blood pressure drops through the roof, and you die. So that's one of the things where people like Heidi and Arno, they teach the hospitals like, hey, you got to keep an eye on these people for 12, 24 hours, whatever the case is, because you could have bad effects after. So Elaine Smith just said sloth. Yay.
I was just thought it was so
Hashtag it.
interesting.
Hashtag probably not.
Because
but okay.
I had before we get to these,
Yeah,
just because it might change the topic.
Yeah.
I have this one friend that, he did acid. Okay.
Oh, your friend?
Yeah. No. This is truly a friend.
Just kidding.
No.
I
This,
had a friend.
no. No, this is true. This,
wink, wink.
no, this is a real friend. This is a
go
real
ahead.
I had
friend.
a friend too.
So he did acid, and
Well.
it went good. No problems, right? No problems. Really,
Yeah.
no problems. He worked a landscaping job. I worked with him, and one day he was riding his lawnmower, and he was mowing the lawn, and then he just stopped in the middle of the field, and he was just sitting there, just sitting there looking into the grass, basically, just
having an
not moving.
experience.
And I'm just like, oh, maybe he's changing the song on his iPod or something, blah, blah, blah. So I walk up to him, and I'm like, yo, like, you there? Blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, water. I'm like, what the fuck? So I get this boy some water. I give him some water. And then, like, he comes back to life. And I was like, what happened, dude? He was just like, it felt like I was on acid again. He was just like crazy. And he
Is he
told...
dehydrated?
Yes, but he told me that every single time that he would let his body get dehydrated,
It was
he would
like he
start
was on
hallucinating.
Well, I think that.
Hold up. I just wanted to point out, Lori was the one to point this out, not you guys.
Yeah.
Lori is like on point. Like it was dehydration, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was.
I know
but
why.
Why did you? But why did you say that? Like, cause
Yeah, kind of a little buzzed out about
no,
that.
it
a little
was
bit. That's kinda
dehydration.
cool.
And he said that every time he would get dehydrated, he'd start tripping
don't
for like
know.
years after. Like,
Oh my gosh.
I don't think it happens anymore. I'll ask him
Because I have
tonight. But
experience on both sides. That's why.
No.
oh, so you got dehydrated before and then you started tripping.
Yes. And I've also done some things.
That's interesting. I never knew that.
So,
I've never.
The woman
tripped
has
from
lived her
dehydration.
life. Let it go.
It's crazy.
Marta says.
Remember we talked about those teen years?
Yeah.
Marta says. Marta says, love your channel, love your family. Thank you from Jersey.
Oh, Jersey.
Gino, Venom Queen, starring Lori Barjack.
No.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
that's when she does me and feeds me off to frickin' Lucy or something like
Yeah.
that.
Mother
that's
of
gonna
God.
happen. We've been down that path. Speaking of Netflix shows, though.
Yeah, we started a good
we
one.
started one. This is like
Yes.
old.
Let me
This
hear
is like
this.
old time for people.
It is because
Ozark.
I've been watching it right from
Yeah.
the start.
So I don't watch. I don't like series. I don't like TV. I just don't get into that. But
I
Lori
gave you
did.
two options
She gave me
last
two
night.
options. She
Yep.
said, "You're either watching Ozark or what?" I can't-
Outlander.
Outlander. And so it wasn't like
Because
I had a choice.
needed to start.
Ozark's really
I
good.
needed to start season 3 of Ozark if you weren't on board because
Yeah.
I haven't watched.
Oh
that
man, I
yet.
love it.
But
I
if
love
he's
it.
gonna start from the beginning,
So we did watch 3
And we did.
episodes. We did watch 3 episodes. It wasn't
Yeah.
very entertaining. I
was
did
good.
enjoy it. I'm not
you
a
ain't
TV
seen
guy.
nothing yet.
know.
Nothing.
Oh, dude,
like
Ozark.
it a lot,
Ozark
though.
really develops over time.
But I think it's cool. I mean, I
Yeah.
think it's a good
I agree.
good show. And
It's twisted, and every time you're just like, "Oh my god!" Then you're just
There's
like,
just not an end.
no.
There's just not
It
an
just
end.
keeps getting more fun.
Like,
So it's
yeah.
gonna be one of those series that when it does end, we're gonna be like, no.
I mean, I can't imagine what season 3 holds.
I can only
can't,
imagine it
so.
ends up like Lost. It's just gonna be like, we just made some shit up.
Yeah.
yeah. But it was cool. I mean, again, I'm part of me is like cool because I have something to look forward to.
Yeah, you do.
At the end of the day, the other part of me is like when life goes back to normal-ish, whatever that means. I don't want to become a TV guy. I don't want to
Listen,
become a
we
TV
got plenty
guy.
of time to power through this series before this is over. So
Yeah, let's hope so.
I mean, we went through what 3 or 4 just in
We-
the last
just
night,
just
so.
three.
We got a great super chat right here that
Okay.
I absolutely adore. About 3 years after I tripped on acid, I started tripping in the shower. Water was filling up, and I didn't come out of it for hours. My
Holy-
friends had to pull me out.
Lindsay, I am
Lindsay.
so sorry. That
Damn.
sucks.
Man,
Let me
Lindsay.
get a hit of some of
holy
that.
Right? Like, Lindsay is a girl you want to party with
Yeah,
right
don't
here.
want a
Holy
hit of
moly.
that.
Yeah, man. Give me
I would like to have been there to see what her friends were doing. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
yeah, just sitting there
just
feeling
like,
man.
Lindsay's been in the shower for like 3 hours. Do you think
Is she okay?
do you think we should go in or not? I don't know.
She's
you
just
know?
staring at the hose. She's just getting splashed in the
The
water.
water is fucking.
Snozberries taste like snozberries.
The water is freezing cold, man.
Yeah,
Just like
that's right.
freezing cold.
I know.
And she's just like sitting there huddled up.
I know.
Wow,
Hopefully,
Lindsay.
she didn't have a
So sorry, Lindsay.
guy roommate.
Oh, Marta
Let's see that
says.
field day.
When Lori sips, she sips.
Hey,
Amen.
Marta.
Hey,
All
I
right,
drink that.
take a
I'll
sip
drink that.
then.
Yeah. Nostrovia.
Marta, you're gonna be fucked up at the end of this.
Can you keep up, Marta? We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's just smoke and drink. T. Pritchard said, "Let's just smoke and drink."
Hey, cheers.
I'm the only sober one in the group now.
I'm sober.
Yeah, no, you're sober. Too.
What
Yeah,
do you
you're sober.
mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I work with these guys. I'm regularly not sober.
Yeah, I know. I wish. I mean, I will say, like I miss. I can't. You guys
Do you
know I
miss
don't
your
smoke.
teenage days?
No, I
of
don't
your
miss
craziness?
that. No. I don't
You
miss
did some
that.
stupid shit.
No, I
Only
did
imagine
lots.
what
I did-
Brian
no, I did-
Barczyk did
Yeah.
as a crazy man.
Exactly.
No,
As a
I
kid,
definitely.
he
I always
was an
tell
idiot.
people I did my partying from 14 to 18
Yeah.
Yeah.
more than
He
most
was
people
done
did his whole
before I
life.
met him.
Yeah, like by
That's who I
18.
got it from. I got it from him.
Well,
Yeah, but I was out of it
did-
by 18.
And you know
It's
what?
a
though?
gift.
I
Me
did.
too.
I did
No,
my
good, there you
major
go.
partying between that too, because by the time,
Yeah.
I mean, when I was
And then-
19, I was
a lot of
pregnant
people
with Jaden. I was done.
a lot of people
There you
don't know
go.
though, but I was obviously a band guy, so I was in a band. When I was 14 years old, we were
Slap like a
playing
biz.
Yeah, we were playing some of the biggest bars in Detroit, and and crushing it. And I was like, I remember going to bars that were big, bars that tons of people go, packed rooms, and I couldn't even go in the front door. I'd have to go in the back door to the backstage because I wasn't 18. And so I was like 14 years old, cranking salad, spandex pants.
Oh, yeah, we've got the pictures. People have sent them to us.
So obviously,
they're out there.
So obviously, I wasn't allowed to like go into the bar, and I wasn't allowed to do anything. But we would just go back to our band house. And then obviously
like
all
idiots.
the people would just show,
Yep.
Tons of people would show up, and they would bring all kinds of partying stuff. And so, I always say, I was paroled for time served when it comes to partying. But I will say, I miss like having a beer or something like that. I miss, just that buzz. But for some reason, I don't know what's happened. I can't do it right now. Like I can't do it.
But ice cream is filling that void.
Yeah.
Oh, pistachio ice cream has been my sin right now.
Can I offer
that was in Ozark,
perspective
too.
of why?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Oh shit!
Of
actually,
why
really?
I think that you can't anymore.
Tell me why.
I think that you can't
Tell me
anymore
why,
because
tell me
back in
why.
those days, not saying that that's what you want to go back to by any means,
No.
but yeah, you didn't have any work to do.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was freewheeling. There was no
there free will.
responsibilities,
Was this
nothing.
like when you
Now-
worked at the shop?
No,
No.
like
This is way before I
Before
had
then,
even met
no
him,
shit.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Nowadays, you have
Teenager.
so much stuff to do that
Yeah.
literally, by the way, you have more stuff to do than time in the day to do every day. So you never get everything done that you
No,
can in
no.
a day
Coming up
because
with
there's
more
too much.
ideas.
Yeah, and I always come up with more stuff.
So
yeah.
you got a lot going on up here, so that when you do if you did want to have a beer, it just doesn't work out because
I think you're
you
right.
got a lot of stuff going on up
I think
there.
you're right. I can't shut it down, and it's just that you're right. I mean, I'm never done with my work.
Yeah,
I just give up for the day and then
start
start
the
again
next
tomorrow
day.
and pick
Try
up
to-
where I left off. And
Yeah.
some days I get further down that path, and other days like today, I got partially down the path, and I have a lot left to do for the day. And
Yeah.
I'll do some stuff before we're done here. Tonight, because we got a
We'll
few
get
things
caught
to
up
go by.
tomorrow. That's the
And
way
then
it
we'll
goes.
catch up tomorrow. But today was today I knew was and that goes back to what I was saying about
There's a story
adjusting.
of our life right there. We'll just
Yeah.
catch up tomorrow.
Yeah, but I think that goes back to what I was saying early in the podcast about adjusting and some people in particular in business and we're very blessed because we have a great following. We have people that support us, super chats and chat people and people that watch everything we do. But other people don't have that luxury in business.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think a lot of business people have just buried their head and said like, "Oh my God, I'm done." And they haven't thought. I mean, if you really think about it, if we go back to, and I'm not saying like I'm a genius by any stretch. I'm just an idiot that doesn't doesn't give up. You know what I mean? I'll beat it into the ground. And so if you really go back to that Monday when we closed at the Reptarium and decided that we were going to close down. I think it was Wednesday we started virtual tours.
Yeah.
So it was like 2 days
You came
of
to me
like
Tuesday, and I was like,
yeah. We had one day where I was
And-
like,
yeah.
"Oh my God, this is going to be crazy. What are we going to do? This is going to be wild." And then all of a sudden Tuesday I was like, "What do you think about these virtual tours?" And then literally we started doing them Wednesday, and then since then we've added more and more stuff. And so yeah, like you said, no, I think that's kind of just the way I am is I fill my life up. But it's funny. I told someone this story the other day, and it was interesting because I always have thought of myself as like super motivated. And you remember this, Lori, because you were with me. I worked a job for a short period of time. I was at a pet shop. Then I actually was a machinist for a short period of time, what I call the worst years of my life, because it was working in a factory. I'd rather shoot myself than never do that again.
That being said, you started out on this, what was it, the Bridgeport? Whatever
no,
thing, and then worked your way and learned how to run the CNC mill on your own.
Yeah,
So same Brian.
I went from like the lowest grunt in the shop.
Yeah,
to,
you were
to,
sweeping the floor or whatever, and you saw this machine that wasn't being used and figured out how to use it.
Yeah.
And then like,
it was funny because I was
That sounds
literally
familiar,
getting
actually.
I was literally getting paid for like the lowest job in the shop and running the most expensive machine. Just because I'd be like, if I get my work done over here, that gives me 3 hours to run this for free.
Yeah.
And I would just crush it. And then all of a sudden I just kept getting, but anyways, point is I hated the job. I quit eventually. And what was interesting is we were running our business. as well. Laura, we had Jade and Laura, your mom.
BHB was at its
infancy and stuff like that. And
we were, every weekend almost we were going.
Yeah, we're going to shows. And so, anyways, I'd work from 5 a.m. at the shop until usually 5 at night, and then I'd come home and I'd work the reptiles until like 11 o'clock at night, midnight, and then I'd do it all over again. And that was my. And then on the weekends we'd do reptile shows. And so when I finally quit my job, I thought to myself, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have all this extra time, this 50, 60, sometimes 70 hours a week that I was working at the factory. I can run around and so what was happening is then I'd, instead of waking up at 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning going to work, I'd wake up at 9. And then 9 would be, I'd wake up and I'd watch some TV, I'd eat a bowl of cereal, I'd be like, oh shit, I didn't even start work before till 5. And then next thing you know, it's 7 and I still haven't done anything. And then next thing I know, I'm like depressed because now it's 11 o'clock at night and I haven't done shit. And I got myself into a cycle.
It was a hard transition for you to go from working a job to being self-employed.
Yeah. And so for a few months, it's like I almost got depressed and like I couldn't get hardly anything done. So I had all these extra hours and yet I wasn't even get done what I got done. So my point is, I found to me that I have to fill my life up. Almost force myself into being consistently crazy with things to do. And that's the way I've now lived for the last 30-something years, where I don't allow myself to choose between being lazy and being not. I don't allow that to happen. And that's why maybe when this whole thing happened with the C word, that I needed a way to fill that up. And virtual tours have taken that up and now shut it. Yeah, it's like I feel like I'm maybe busier now than I've ever been.
We are. I literally had this conversation with Jessica. Even I was like, you know what, and I to the people who are stuck home,
it's amazing,
that don't go to work and do whatever and are bored out of their mind. Like I am sorry. I feel for you because I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
But us, we have live animals and we have all this other stuff. And honestly, that's what I said. I said, you think I'd have more time because the reptarium's not open, but I swear to God, I feel like I'm busier than ever right now.
Yeah, because I think that, like you said, you're feeling all of those.
You filled all of those voids and then some.
Yeah. And now the question's going to be moving forward is like when life resumes the normalcy that it hopefully will, what do we do with all that extra stuff?
Well, and that, you know what, we'll deal with that when it comes because people ask us that, like, oh, I hope you keep it. And I'm sure we can to an extent, but we can't do it to the extent we're doing it right now.
No, it'd be impossible.
Because we're
there's not that many hours in a day.
Exactly.
I mean, I could not sleep and still not do
100% think that, especially for like our overseas people who are like, oh my God, this is the perfect opportunity for us to get a virtual tour. We'll never be able to come.
Sure.
Yeah, we'd love to afford that, and we still will. It just, it's not going to be open availability like it is right now.
Yeah.
But I think that, and I think it's kind of cool because, again, necessity, the mother of invention. These are things that we probably never would have done that we can offer.
We would never have done this.
And we'll figure it out and we'll fit it in.
And it's been actually cool.
It's super interesting how like you guys have been like almost innovating. Like you're finding different avenues,
yeah, you have no
rights,
choice.
You know what I mean?
And again, that's
how you survive, man.
No, I know, right? Well, I mean, like it's just like, again, like I was saying at the beginning of this, like it's the difference between a business owner and someone that just works there.
I was reading something the other day, and again, what we're doing isn't that innovative, and it's just
But it is in some ways.
Yeah.
Like I told you,
I said, almost.
Even the dog training that I've used for Phoebe and Zeus. You know what? They've been sending emails out. They're doing virtual training via Zoom, via stuff like that, and that's what I'm like. I'm like,
genius.
Good for you. For again, same like us. You're like, oh shit, we can't do our training anymore. What are our options? Okay, we can do this, and you know what? I'm so happy for them because again, like I get their emails and they're like, this is what we're doing, and then now the emails saying, you know what? It's going great. People love this. So if you want to sign up.
Well, it's kind of like our friend Jason from Playground and the restaurant.
Him too.
He you could see how panicked he was in the beginning because his restaurant got shut down because of this. And then all of a sudden he picked up the, almost like, food to go. And, and the, cook your own food. We prepare it and you cook it, or we cook it and you pick it up. And it's like he seems, again, just, seeing him online, it seems like he's almost sold out every day.
No, he's doing really good for that stuff. stuff, which in perspective might not be what he normally makes, but he's still making money.
Yeah,
he's not going to go out of business, and that's what this is all about. Is these people that are like keeping it going,
and that's all I really was caring about. Like I was just like, can I keep?
How can we pay the bills?
Right? No, exactly.
Yeah, how can we pay the bills?
We were all worried about it. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, we're all concerned about it.
We want to keep our employees, be able to pay our employees, pay our bills, because
like I was sitting there thinking, like, where the fuck am I going to go now? Like,
we don't want to be the people
I was really
that have
committed,
to lay our employees off.
Yeah, I was really committed to making sure that the crew didn't suffer at all through this, and so I guess I looked at it as my responsibility.
We know a lot of friends and family that are suffering because they're fighting to try to get unemployment.
Oh my God!
Right now because so many people have it.
Yeah, actually, my whole family right now has been denied.
Yeah, your brother, your
and
sister.
Hopefully they're going to get it, but they've already been denied or they're tied up or something like that. Just really quickly, Jesse says the zebra spandex and teased hair.
Oh,
I actually don't think
saw the picture.
I don't
she
know.
Definitely saw that picture.
I don't think those weren't zebra spandex, though, were they? I think they were black.
There was a photo.
I don't
black
know
and white there somewhere.
I know.
I think it was
saw
only.
a photo.
Anyways, Gary said, "I hope to get the opportunity to visit the Reptarium one day. Sending love from Liverpool.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, the land of the Beatles. Thank you, and I hope you do." Elena says, just for love, for love.
Thank you.
We've got Jesse. Bruce, did you break the seal?
Oh yeah, I had to piss. Yeah.
There you go. T. Pritchard, again, discount for militaries and veterans. We always will give discounts for military every single time.
I mean, if he seriously just said no right in front of me, I'm not gonna lie, man. I love you to death, bro. But I would
no. We've done that we've done that for snake sales forever. We've done every aspect of our business. We've always given discounts to military every single time.
And me personally, like obviously I've been in the military, but I've been growing up in that life my whole life, so those are people that I truly respect, people that I absolutely love. So I
just saw T. Pritchard. I was like, Carol killed her husband.
Oh, Carol, that bitch, Carol Baskin.
Siri just said, Brian, I was also like that as well. Depression is no joke. I was in school for physical therapy assistant, and I had to do it day to day. But once I graduated, it was hard. When you're 100% to zero, it's difficult. And we just talked about that.
I started that.
With like even the adjustment for me recently has been interesting because we went from balls out, getting the Reptarium built, traveling to Texas, building cages, doing this, putting stuff in, installing, blah 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 blah. And all of a sudden the crescendo is opening weekend. We have 1,000 people or so show up opening weekend. It was crushed. And then literally Monday shut down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a crazy roller coaster. Yeah, it was a total crazy roller coaster. But anyways, obviously that roller coaster went crazy after that as well. But I kept going as well. But I think it's just, it is what it is, and things are working out. And I listen. I talked. I'm not going to get into the C word at all. But I am still very optimistic about the future. I think things are going to be fine, and I think we're going to get through this pretty soon. And I think
we've definitely been through worse.
I think we've definitely been through worse, and I think that we are closer to the end than we are the beginning.
For sure. I think we've been through a large part of this.
Yeah, so let's see. Anything? Dylan said that beach. Carol Baskin. It's so funny how that thing is. And this is such a fad right now, that, obviously, the Tiger King thing is, I'm sure 6 months from now, people won't even think about it, but
probably not.
But it is interesting how a phenomenon like the Tiger King could take over everything. Like every from mainstream media to digital media, everyone was talking about the Tiger King, and like we continue to say, we knew these people. We knew them, and it's really wild to. We didn't know everybody. We didn't know everybody, but a lot of people in it. Yeah.
I saw somebody comment on one of the podcasts. I don't remember which one. It was a recent one that we did, the checking in, where we were. Yeah, checking in the septic tank, where we talked about Tiger King quite a bit. Like not too much, but we did talk about it quite a bit. And we said the same thing. Oh yeah, we know some of the people. And then one of the top comments in the video was actually, I wouldn't be proud about knowing any of those people. Something along those lines, like.
Well, number one, I never said I was proud of knowing them.
No, I know. But like, I don't know. I just thought it was funny. It was just like, yeah, it is true. Like it seemed like it made everyone look so crazy, which is like, are they great? Like, it's very complicated.
And I
I
always
can't wrap
say-
my head around it.
Yeah,
at
and I
all.
always say that, much like us, and everyone knows that we have people that love us and people that absolutely hate us.
Oh, yeah.
And I always say, just like this with the Tiger King, is when you film for years like they did,
Oh, yeah.
you can almost have any narrative. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The end result of him maybe trying to kill Carol Baskin or Carol Baskin's husband disappearing, those aren't made up narratives. I mean, those are reality narratives. But the story arc itself could be told through editing, as you
Yes,
know.
because they could have easily made it to seem like Joe was a great guy.
Yeah.
If they just cut out the bullshit
Yeah.
talking parts,
Yeah.
no showing of the gun.
Yeah.
Instead of if he, because there was unlimited footage of him being like, oh, I love this tiger right
Yeah,
here. I love tigers. So
absolutely.
they
Yeah.
could have made the whole thing
Well,
about
if you even
Joe is
notice-
such a great guy,
Yeah.
and then they could have twisted
Yeah,
it.
and even if you looked at
interesting.
Doc Antle, how they had him, where they would always have the pre-shot in the shot. So let's say he was going to have the tigers on the bed. Instead of just having the tigers on the bed going, oh, look at these tigers, they'd be like, oh, so you want me to sit over here and you want me to do you want the tigers on or off the bed? They would include the pre-shots that made
Which
it
is
seem like
really
he was
valuable footage.
Right, and it made it sound like he was a control freak, because of the way they presented him. Whereas if they would have cut that out, you would have had a very different view of Doc Antle even, No, I don't know so much about the fact that he has multiple wives and all that. That's a whole
I mean,
other
it
story.
filled in the
but-
perspective with the witness there, that one chick that was saying like, "Oh, we're living in the."
Oh yeah, and that's the
the
thing. Yeah,
shelves
yeah.
and
You
stuff.
and we know people that work there, and I've never heard
Never
heard anything but good things from people that have worked there.
Well, we know because unfortunately, that's the thing. It only takes once to experience the media and
Yeah.
how that shit works, and you think like, "Oh yeah, this is a great idea," and you go and they twist that
I got
shit.
a great
Like,
story.
I mean, it makes you know you can never trust anybody.
So I got a
because-
great-
no doubt.
Yep.
I've got a great story. Speaking of the media, and you're saying
Am I
once
okay with this?
No, you're okay because
Okay.
you were part of it. So,
Yeah, but I know, am I
so
okay with
when
it?
it was just
Maybe.
no, probably not. So just when you said it just takes once. So we were young.
You only get
our
one.
first building ever.
Okay.
Yeah,
we
this is exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's
So our first building
shit.
ever is a multi-tenanted building, so there's tenants across. And this building was so janky that, like let's say here
we didn't know till after the fact. Let's just say that.
Well, yes and no. We knew because you knew that you could. So normally a building, if you have multi-tenants, the walls are separate, right?
cinder
you
block all the way up.
Yeah,
you
so
would
you
think.
could literally
Separate.
like pop the ceiling tile in our building and crawl into the next building.
their ceiling tile.
Yeah,
and,
you
like,
could just
pop.
crawl right
Yeah.
into their building, which is illegal. That's you
Yeah.
can't do that. But that's the way it was. So, anyways, there's this old lady.
I
Old
remember this story.
lady.
I know this story.
And she did silk screening for T-shirts, right?
Okay.
She's like 75 years old or something like that. And this tiny California king snake, baby, 8 inches
Yeah.
long, tiny pencil-thin California king snake gets into her building.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, so she calls animal control. And then, so animal control calls us, says, hey, we've got this Cal King. You need to come get it. It was in your next door neighbors, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, oh, shit, that's terrible. But whatever. We go get it. We take it back. No big deal, right? We're thinking, oh, that sucks, whatever. This is like noon. By like 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock at night, guess what the lead story on the news is?
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Lead
Oh,
story on the
yes.
news. Old lady, I'm so terrified. I can't even pick up a shirt in my building without shaking.
Y'all, there's rattlesnakes in
And so it was a slow
Oh, no.
it was a slow news night. So we literally had
They were calling our
yeah,
house.
they camped at our building.
Yep.
So we couldn't go to the building for 2 days because for 2 days they camped
had
at our building.
news crews
News crews
there.
at the building, and all they were doing is they came to our house.
Yep.
They came to our house. We
This
didn't
is
answer the door.
before, This is before Noah. Jade was like in
Yeah.
preschool.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
And
no.
and they
Yes.
literally it was just slow news. So we led the news on 5, 6, and the following morning news. We were the lead story, and it was called "Reptile Invaders." Was the title of it?
Jesus Christ! Like,
Yeah.
like you're just coming from a different
And the
country and
Cal
just like
King,
fuck with
literally
our
a Cal King
snakes.
this big.
Yeah, Cal King, 8 inches long,
Oh,
a baby
Jesus
California
Christ.
king snake got next door. So yeah, the media can go crazy, and that was the first experience we ever had with media.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it's just a terrible thing.
One
but
thing I remember about we tried to do a TV show back at the big building.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And-
a few of them.
and
God help me.
I remember one, and we went to like their facilities, and they had the best sandwiches. Remember
was
that?
it?
Oh my God, they had like some of the best
Trying to
sandwiches.
think. What do we do?
It was, I don't know,
I don't know what
man.
you're talking
Clearly
about.
I don't know.
a child remembers more.
Yeah, like kids always remember the food.
I don't
Yeah.
remember sandwiches, so I don't know
Oh
what
my
you're
God.
Sandwiches were the
Where
best.
did we go?
It was like it
You
was like
guys,
the
the
network. It was the
sandwiches. Yeah,
network.
I don't know what
We
you-
went to the network's offices. I think we traveled a distance to go
Yeah.
to it.
Where
And
did
I just
we
remember
break
they had
them?
like
I don't know.
these like steak and cheeses
Oh
with
my
like
gosh.
the dip. You got a little dip going.
So it sounds like
Oh.
it should be Pennsylvania.
You sound
but-
like you sound like
could use a
Chewy, like
French dip
Chewy's
right now.
Chewy always said like his favorite thing about Discovery
Australia,
Channel
yeah.
was the craft services.
Oh my
That was-
God, I
that's like-
couldn't blame him there.
Like, all he
Oh.
did was go to, But
Yeah.
by the way, T. Pritchard also said, "Come back to Scott's show in Illinois." We absolutely will when
We
Scott's
will.
show keeps going.
Yeah,
I
we'll
talked to
come
Scott.
back
I
one
literally,
day.
Scott Smith,
Yeah, I
Animal
usually-
Expo.
yeah, I literally talk to Scott almost every single day, and I know he's chomping at the bit to get back to it.
Well, we all are.
And we all are. When that's
God,
going to
yeah.
happen, I don't know. I have no clue.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully
Yep.
soon. Draco and Kodak says, since you're animal lovers, I will tell my boyfriend to let me.
You know what?
Get us a third
if you already
Sphinx
have
cat.
two, I mean,
Yeah,
you
might
might as well
get
get three.
or
I'm
five.
not gonna lie, it's
Just keep
still the
getting more,
same
man.
amount of work. Might as well
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
the third.
Just get more.
Where can
Speaking of
I get a
that-
French dip? I want to. I can't get over this French dip.
We should actually.
Do you not know?
Let's see.
Arby's.
Arby's got a
No.
You
French
can
dip.
literally get a French dip from Barbie.
Yeah,
It's,
but
you know what?
isn't it
It's
gonna be
not
that
bad.
good?
Literally, the French
Have you
dip's
had
not,
it?
I have. It's not. I mean,
bad.
it's not bad.
You know what? If we go, I'm sure there's a place that's doing carry out by us that has killer ones.
Do you know this is a horrible
good.
story?
You know, if you guys do find a good one though,
I'm
I
not
would
gonna do
love
it.
to try it. Sorry.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I'm not.
What?
I've decided.
No,
well,
come
I'm
on.
gonna say something.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's a better story not to
talking
say.
about two animals going to three. So we have two dogs.
Uh-huh.
Okay. What is a dog that is on both of our lists?
Oh,
That-
the Irish Wolfhound.
Yeah. And there's
Jay.
puppies available. The new Jay that works for us is getting a puppy, and he showed me the litter that there are others available.
You know he has
Oh,
one
man.
already. He's got an
No,
old one.
It's not his. It's his friend's.
Yeah, but he.
So yeah,
takes
punch
care
up
of it.
Irish
So he's-
Wolfhound.
he's
These
getting
things
his
are
own.
not only are they
we-
effing cool,
we
but they're
saw
also
them.
huge.
I know.
Look at this one with
They
the.
are like a horse.
Yeah, go to the picture
that,
right there.
Go back, go back.
Exactly.
Yeah, that
Look
one
at
right
there.
that.
That's a good one.
It is. I know. Isn't it
That's so
amazing?
you, Lori.
And they're so.
or go down
they're
and
so gentle.
see
They're
Jay on the right hand
super
side,
sweet,
the guy
super
with the
gentle.
Wolfhound. The guy, yeah, right
yeah,
there.
look at that.
Look at that. So we were
Holy
actually.
moly.
The
Boy.
Canadian Reptile Expo, right?
Well, right. No, that's what I was going to talk about. Noah, were you with me in California at that reptile show that we met
Yeah,
Miguel?
that had, yep, and they
And the
had dogs in the
Yeah,
back.
and so we literally, my friend Bo, who's 7 foot 2
7
inches,
foot.
7 foot
Okay,
2 inches
yeah.
tall,
Okay, the
and
big
we
guy.
took him to an Irish Wolfhound booth.
Yep.
And it looked like a normal
it
dog.
literally
No.
looked him in the eyes. 7
Mom.
foot 2.
It was
7 foot 2.
taller than him.
What
They put it on his shoulders like we put it on
Yeah.
his shoulders.
Yeah.
And it was taller than him.
It was
Holy
He
taller
was
than
shit.
7 feet tall.
7
And they're
foot 2
these
inches.
little scruffy looking, like
Yeah.
look like they came out
So-
of a dumpster.
Oh my god, I love them. They look like
Oscar the
wired
Grouch
haired
looking.
terriers
Yeah,
or
and
whatever, but
they-
super
but so
sized.
sweet, so sweet.
Oh
so
my god, they
gentle.
really are. The
Feel
couple
good
I've ever
dog.
met, they're beautiful
The
dogs. They're
kids,
sweet as
the
dogs.
little,
The
the little
texture.
kids
Yeah,
were
they
just
feel
coming
real
up and
wiry.
hugging them.
Yeah, they
and
got-
they
it
were
feels like a
loving
terrier.
them.
Yeah, they
Oh,
got
a
like
lot like a terrier.
a
And
wire.
you, I was shocked because you were like, "Oh my god, these are so cool. We should get one." I was like, "Oh hell yeah,
I agree.
you're on board with this."
Oh, Brad Nunn says Quiznos, man. They got rid
we
of.
used to
Oh,
eat
we
the
used to-
shit out of Quiznos.
Yes, and then
I
they
miss
got rid of
Quiznos
all of
so
them near
much.
us. They're
Yeah,
all
Michigan
gone,
doesn't
man.
have any. No.
Yeah,
I
in
mean,
the
they might have
in the
some,
south,
but-
there was a bunch of Quiznos around, man. Everybody
So
likes Quiznos
good.
more than Subway
I
down
love
south.
that
Chicken-
one with the mushrooms.
The chicken and the mushrooms.
It was
Yes.
it was a chicken
Chicken-
bacon ranch.
No.
No.
Chicken carbonara.
Carbonara.
That's what it is.
Yes.
I love
So
that.
Yes.
No, and
Honestly
I don't know if
amazing.
there's any Quiznos. I mean, I'm
Oh,
sure
I
there's
miss
some
it.
in Michigan, but
I
just
don't
not
know.
around
Not
us.
around us.
It's
They're
like
all
Chick-fil-A,
gone.
man. It's just one of those things you gotta wait till you get down south.
Well,
Yeah.
interesting.
Chick-fil-A is coming around here.
Well,
Man, I
interestingly
can't
enough, I
wait.
wonder
I
if
can't
the
wait.
I wonder if the C word axed it for a minute because
Chick-fil-A?
No, because Chick-fil-A was supposed to be
Chick-fil-A
in.
is a C word, yes.
Chick-fil-A was supposed to be
opening
right
the
by
shop
like a
here.
few, yeah,
right
like
here at like
M59,
Shaner
yeah,
and M59.
Shaner. So, but I haven't heard anything else, and that's
No, I
probably
haven't.
why. That
No,
they haven't.
I don't know. We've heard that rumor for over a year ago.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It might have just been a rumor.
No, I saw it
Sadly.
on the news. The news actually said, opening up in Chick-fil-A.
Well, they better hurry the F up
Yeah,
because
they
I need
definitely-
that
right?
Chicky
Yeah.
Sammy.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. So, let's take a few questions
Questions?
from the chat room there.
Somebody
Yeah.
says miniature beagles are adorable.
They are. They are. Beagles of any kind are adorable.
Brad's like, so you
I'm
say.
not a beagle guy. I've never been a beagle.
No, me
guy.
neither.
We
You
got
know-
the guy down the street that has the old beagles.
No, that thing's dead.
So old.
It's gotta be
its
dead now. It's
belly,
gotta be dead
like
now.
drags on the ground.
Oh
like,
my god! Have you guys ever seen
The
Blazing
ears and the-
Saddles?
yes.
Like the movie Blazing. So there was a part in there where the blonde lady was getting like hit on or whatever, and she goes, "Oh, they're so ordinary." And I swear to God, that was the same he just gave that. Like,
That's true. Brad says also, I can see Wendy Bird. What?
I
Who's Wendy
can't-
Bird? I don't even know.
can't see Wendy Bird without thinking of
Carol
Baskin.
Baskin.
Ah,
I don't even know who Wendy Bird
Wendy
is.
Bird,
I
she's
don't
from
know.
Ozark. And you know what? You're kind
Oh,
of right.
yes.
Yeah, I
Like,
see what
not
No, the
exactly,
personality
but
is so
kind of,
phenomenal.
Because she's
Yes.
a bitch. Yeah.
Oh my God, she's
Well,
a
that's
fucking
the
cunt.
one.
And she would totally kill the husband.
Yes.
In
She-
Ozark too.
Dude, that
like,
woman is
yeah.
ruthless.
And
So
the one
you're
thing
right.
I was,
I like
the
it.
one thing, the three.
I like it. Yeah.
I've been 3 episodes into Ozark, and the one thing I said is there's
Right
not
from the
one.
start.
There's not one woman in that show that doesn't deserve to get
Well,
shot in the head.
You know
Agreed.
what?
Agreed.
Okay,
No, I'm
okay,
completely
okay,
there
wait.
with you on that one.
And I kind of got a little upset when you said that. Like, I kind of agree, but I kind of am like, nah, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because it's okay. No, it's okay to be a bitch
Well,
and be a woman.
it is okay
Yeah,
to be
but
a
she's-
bitch.
And that
that is
doesn't
true.
mean you need
That
to
is true.
die.
That is
Okay,
true.
someone's
very true.
Grace wants to know Lori's take on bull mastiffs. My mom bred them when she was a child, and I swear that they're the most gentle giants.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I haven't had a whole lot of experience with them.
Adam
The
and
little,
Shaney had both,
Yeah, the
yeah.
little I did, they were
look like-
insane.
Yeah, they were
like
crazy.
that dog. Like
They're a
it-
giant dog, but they look like a giant pit bull almost
He
a little
put-
bit.
Cane
He
Corsos
put
are
his
another
head
really
through
good
a
one
plate
too.
glass window. He ate a lock off their fridge.
Yeah.
So
But it's like, but you got to think about it like a bulldog.
Yeah.
It's just
Wow.
an oversized
I'm not
bulldog.
saying it's terrible. Like it
That
was
thing
very.
is thick.
They
Oh,
are
dude,
massive,
they're huge. They're absolutely monsters.
Jesus.
But I don't know that I'd want one.
Lindy,
These
Because
things
they
are
They would
huge.
tear our shit apart.
So,
Yeah,
like,
so we-
like I don't know if you looked up King Corsos either, but those are also monstrous, like pit bull looking
They
dogs.
look like
They're awesome.
almost a giant boxer.
yeah.
yeah, like a giant
Yeah.
boxer.
They got the
Our
red,
friend-
Super
the black
cool.
face.
Our friend
But they're
Adam
crazy.
and Shaney had one, and literally, not only was it
Yeah.
our friend Adam and Shaney had one, but not only did it like open the refrigerator and then would pull out like mustard and ketchup
Oh
and,
my
and
God,
chili and
yes.
put it all over their
They'd
bed.
bring it into their bed because that's
Yeah.
where they wanted to be. So,
So they
they
had
pull
to
the
lock-
shit out of the fridge.
They had to put a lock on the refrigerator because it would open the fridge. But also
Like
one
a
day
padlock. Remember we were
Yeah.
talking about Uncle Bill's, like that padlock
Yeah.
shit?
it was a
That's what
padlock.
they did on
And
their
so not
fridge.
only that, but they also one day the mailman came and it put its head
It
through
put
the
its
window
head right through the plate glass window.
What?
to get after
Because,
to get after
I mean,
it.
similar
Well,
to
Zeus did
Zeusy.
that.
Well, not
But
the
that was a
window.
screen.
That was a
That was a
screen.
screen.
But
That
it
was
was
a
like
screen.
Zeus, but if it was glass.
Sounds like Zeus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so
it busted through
Lindsay,
the glass.
Lindsay said steady as a rock, but this is the hand I shoot with.
That's right, Lindsay. Hell yeah.
What is that from?
Oh, that's about Blazing Saddles.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Like it's one of the, like he's like hey Senator, you see my hand? He's like yeah, steady as a rock, and he goes, well, this is the hand I shoot with.
Parker says Rhodesian Ridgebacks. I love them.
those
They're
are
super
really
cool.
Oh, those are
Cool.
great dogs. They're
And actually,
cool.
those-
They're cool
Those guys actually are what they raise cheetahs with.
Yep.
So
That's
they-
how I
yeah,
knew of
yeah,
them.
Rhodes-
Is because
yeah. Or actually, I take that back. It wasn't Rhodesian Ridgebacks. That was Anatolian Shepherds. Rhodesian Ridgebacks hunt lions.
Anatolian Shepherds are super interesting.
yeah.
We
So
missed-
Anatolian Shepherds.
We missed a part. It said Rhodesian Ridgebacks or Doggo Argentinos, which I don't know what that is.
I don't know what a doggo
Let's-
I think
get a
I
little
think I've
pic.
heard of
Let's go
this.
look at
Maybe
this
I'm not
doggo.
sure exactly what this is.
Argentino.
Oh, there it is, right
Here,
there.
okay.
Doggo.
Let's look. Let's see what that. Ooh,
Oh,
like a pit
they're
bull.
like
Kinda
yeah, they
looks
do
like a
look a
pit
pit
yeah,
bull.
that is
yeah.
like a giant pit bull.
It's like
Wow.
a really big one too. It's like this is like a King Corso. This is actually
I
reminds me
never
a lot
knew
of
that
them.
they made like
It's a monster.
these kind of
too.
dogs
Yeah.
so big.
Dude, they're huge.
Yeah.
Dude.
Cool. Tim says, this is an interesting question. What
Yeah.
animal would you bring back from extinction if you could?
You go.
Me? I go
I would-
first.
Okay.
Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl. Why?
I don't know. Because it could fly and fuck you up.
I think there's obviously there's so many because I'm a dinosaur guy, but
Yeah.
being a reptile guy, Titanoboa would have to be.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'd have to do a Titanoboa. I mean, a 50-foot boa would be fucking ridiculous, man.
If I could tame it, Velociraptor. If only if I could tame it though.
Oh, you could.
I think I could.
could.
Imagine riding on the back of a Velociraptor. Like you got it roped up, man. You got it roped
Yeah,
up.
do you know that Noah has this thing where he wants to ride an ostrich? He's like really into that, man.
I actually no, I'm actually it's on my bucket list. Like,
Dude,
legit, like it's on a list. I have
people-
it in my safe.
People
It says
think
on ride
it's
an
crazy. Wait,
ostrich.
before you go into your thing.
No.
They race ostriches. There are
Race?
ostrich racings where there are men on the
Dude,
backs of
I
these
would totally do
ostriches,
this with you.
And they
So
would,
instead
my
of
God, I would
horse
totally do
racing,
this.
it's
look at this shit.
ostrich
Look at that.
Dude, oh my God, yes,
This
yes.
is real fucking life,
It's the
people.
coolest thing ever. I'm telling you, it's the coolest
I did
thing
not
ever.
know that
And they
was a
have
thing.
no control
Yes,
over
I've
these
seen
birds.
this. Like they're just holding onto the neck.
Yeah, they
Just
got it.
kinda,
They have no control
That looks
at all.
hilarious.
The
We
birds
got-
go where they want,
We
but
gotta
we got to
Google
do that.
shit.
Oh my God,
Well, I guess
that would
if-
be a dream come true.
If anyone has any connections to
Yeah,
ostrich
we should
riding,
do a
Oh,
we would-
crew
we would do it.
ostrich
Oh,
racing.
oh my God, that's like Miguel with his like little bull ride, but
better, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
Totally better.
Less dangerous too.
Right.
David just wants to know what the best starter snake or lizard is. I think it's pretty simple. I think ball pythons, corn snakes, colubrids in general are great snakes, but there's other snakes that are really good. Lizard-wise, obviously bearded dragons, leopard geckos, crested geckos, blue tongue skinks.
And I want to add actually, like basically, you're looking at animals that you can have information, like lots of information about. Like you're not wanting to look for something that you can only like, oh, there's one article.
Yeah. The more, and that's why maybe the more common stuff has so much information. You
Exactly.
can navigate yourself pretty well. This one just says, what's the caiman lizard gonna set up and look like? I actually want to start on that. Maybe
That's a
this
great idea,
next week. I think I'm going to start on what I want to do is where.
It's going to go in
Yeah,
that other
it's going to
cage
go
that
in
just
the
got
the
fixed.
aquatic cage,
Yep.
but I just have to build up some climbing and slash some other areas. Doing very well. So stay tuned to that. We'll get that
That would
going
be
here.
awesome.
And
Yeah, I
full
think it's gonna be
discretion,
real
they're doing really well socializing as well. Like
yeah,
they've got
they're
them out
not
on our hands and stuff like that.
Let's see. Someone said, Brian, are you ever gonna rock the longshores? and
Yeah, this summer.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Them
Coming
white legs,
soon this
those
summer.
white legs coming out for tan.
Let's see. Heidi actually said from South Africa said that there were ostrich races down there. So let's go to South Africa. and
Oh,
let's
dude,
go
what a
do
great
this,
idea
man.
to go to South Africa for. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do
man.
it.
Why
Like-
not?
I actually really would love to go there. That's been a bucket list place to go to. For
Somebody's
sure.
asking what Bruce's favorite tarantula species is.
Tarantula.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
Tarantula.
So believe it or not, like my biggest and probably my favorite is the Megaphobema robustum.
Okay, what
It's
the
the-
hell is that?
All right, so
There it is.
me personally, like
Ooh,
I've
that's
always
that's a pretty one.
so I've always
Kind of looks like a red meat.
yeah, they're beautiful. Like so I've always like loved these guys, especially the thick back legs these things have, like the hair.
Yeah, you
the
can
hair on
see
them.
how thick. Yeah.
So like the coolest thing about
I
these
like
is
thick
actually the
legs.
reason I would sell these on people would be I swear to God I would tell you this is the
big
Chuck
hairy
Norris.
butt?
This is Chuck Norris right here.
Chuck Norris.
So the reason I
Okay.
say this is because at a defensive mechanism they actually do like push-ups.
Really?
They'll sit there and go
That's kind
like
of
that,
cool.
and it's to intimidate obviously other predators go away and stuff
That's
like that. But
intimidating to
but
me.
it's so cool, man. Like and not only that, but
I
they
wonder
have
if
these
those are the ones in Animal Crossing that kill you.
No.
possibly.
It's a red meat.
So not only that, but this is why I thought the Chuck Norris thing is they actually roundhouse kick like their predators.
Shut the hell up.
No.
not
Can we
shitting
get
you.
a video of that?
I don't know if there's one out there, but there's like these like from what my understanding, there's these little spikes on the back of their legs or whatever,
Okay.
and they
Oh
will
my gosh.
twirl and smack the shit out of you for it.
I
And
don't
this
know.
is what sold me on that
know.
mother effing fucking spider. I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah, we
And,
just got to be careful with YouTube videos.
yeah.
Damn.
There
Well,
may not be too many good ones
We'll
out
look it
there,
up
Yeah.
later
but
then.
well, this is actually one that I personally want to keep in my own collection. So maybe we might
Yeah.
bring one in and just be like,
Yeah.
hey, whatever.
That'd be
let's
awesome.
Yeah,
screw around
teach
with
you
one.
how to kick on demand.
Yeah, so see if we can
because
get actually some good
yes.
footage of one. Yeah. But it's absolutely one of my favorite ones. If
Awesome.
if I were to think of one.
Let's see. Have I played or messed with brown snakes. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, eastern brown snakes.
Yeah, like
western
the
brown
Australian
snakes.
brown snake. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Australia. You know, I've messed with the easterns. I've messed with westerns. I've messed with mulgas. You know, so yeah, I've messed.
Super
with them all.
jealous of him for that.
Yeah.
I would love to get my hands on an Eastern.
Yeah, they're the
They're,
easterns.
they're
Eastern
monsters,
milks,
aren't they? They're huge, right?
they get big and they're very fast
I knew
and
that. I have
to look that up. It's like
willing to
Working with a
bite.
Taipan, maybe, or
It's
something.
I
a
would
little
totally
bit
hit that.
similar. All right, let's see here. A couple more things, and let's get out of here, man.
Yeah,
We've
I'm
been
hungry.
crushing this thing
Yeah,
for
I'm
like 2
hungry.
hours.
Dude, yeah,
This was a
I'm-
quick.
I'm
This was
getting
a
hungry.
this was a quick 2 hours,
Yeah,
by the
that's
way.
for
I
sure.
didn't
2
expect
hours?
it.
Yeah, it
Thank you
has
guys
been.
for all jumping on.
No,
As a matter of fact, I don't know
Seeing
what.
if I hit all my.
Before you guys get on to anything, I really want to actually thank every single one of you guys for letting me on. And
No,
like,
I
you know,
hope you
like,
guys
like,
enjoyed
like, I certainly appreciate it. Like I've been having a blast
Did
just
you have
watching
fun?
you guys. Yeah, Honestly, I mean, I've been sitting
It's
behind
fun,
Jay
isn't it?
forever, trying to be like, oh man, I totally say this.
It is
right
really,
here. Yeah, you
it
know
is
what I mean?
really fun to
So-
do these podcasts. I mean, everyone that does it is always like, I don't know, and then they do them, and they're like, oh my god, this was the most
Dude, this
fun
was a
ever.
blast. Absolute
Yeah.
blast.
Sharon,
Dude,
of
seriously,
course.
I don't understand why you don't already have a podcast at this point. It is so much fun to do this.
Yeah, you could
but
do
at the
this every
same
day.
end, again, we got like, Jay's back there doing like all the cool guy shit, and that I
Cool
don't know
guy
shit
shit.
what's going on. over there.
Sharon always supports us. She just says, "Hey, Brian, Lori, Noah, and Bruce."
Truth,
Thank you guys.
truth.
So listen, guys, you've been everyone's been amazing. Thank you guys in the chat. Thank you guys for listening. Obviously, Noah, where can they listen elsewhere?
Apple Podcast, Spotify, pretty much. Look it
Whoa,
up on any kind of streaming platform.
Yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the Clips channel too.
Checking in
because,
clips. Go
yeah.
subscribe.
Y'all,
And,
I'm on Apple Podcast.
Yeah, we're on
Yeah,
Apple
Apple
Podcast. We
Podcast.
got that. We
yeah,
got that.
Hey,
So
you
make
know what?
sure
I
you
listen to
follow.
that shit on the regular. I'm pretty proud of that.
Nice.
This is a moment I'm gonna mark on my life.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So
So
do
yeah,
that.
thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. You've been checked in. Fuck,
Yes.
I fucked it up.
Oh, that's okay. Let's start over.
And-
just
okay.
edit that out. Edit that out.
That's a rewind.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. You have been checked in, and now we are checking out.
Peace, guys. See you guys. Good
That's
job.
cheesy.
All right.